Welcome back to the Saltcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm here with Bert and Sebastian. We are back.
Name's Bert.
That's his name. We have a regular episode now. We have its news and updates, and we've got a couple things we're going to talk about. We have a Percy Jackson section. We're going to go over the Percy Jackson show that was on Disney Plus, just ended like a week or two ago. So we're going to give our reviews for that. And we all started playing Helldivers, so we're going to talk about our initial thoughts on that, and then that'll probably lead us to the end of the ep.
Patriotism.
Yeah, so we'll start with news like always. Who wants to go first? I'm assuming Bert doesn't have much.
I don't.
Thank you for your service. Sebastian?
Actually, these past 3 days I had no AC. That's my news.
That's exhilarating.
Did you like that?
No, it was terrible, especially in the gaming sessions when the room turned into an actual oven. Like my roommates would walk by my door and be like, "Damn, your room is noticeably warmer."
South Florida with no AC is not the move.
Did you just strip down?
No,
There's your first mistake.
Wore shorts and a t-shirt and had a fan blasting on me.
Should have just been gaming in the undies.
You didn't have your gaming diaper on?
Oh yeah, or your gaming diaper.
Well, I had that on, but that's under the shorts.
For extended sessions, you need the gaming diaper.
Yeah. All right, so Sebastian, do you want to go first or should I?
Believe me.
Okay, I have a couple good things. First thing, Baldur's Gate 3 got a huge update involving the kissing animations. They added I think it was over 5 to 10 different kissing animations for each character.
Wow, that's intense.
People are pretty
How many
excited.
gigabytes was that update?
I don't remember, but kind of hype because there used to be one. So
Now you
pretty epic.
Actually, yeah, that would probably get kind of boring to look at after a while.
Depends how much you kiss in the game.
Bert, you'd probably be kissing everything that moves.
What the?
Not no bard.
Okay, that was just a funny one. Another one. You guys remember the last Ronin game that you mentioned like a million years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, their dev team lost over 50% of its staff.
Well, that's not a good sign.
What happened?
I think they all just got fired or something.
Oh, that's not.
No, that game might be dead then.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it even comes out.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. That's kind of sad because the last Ronin game in like the God of War style could have been so good.
Yeah, that could have been so cool.
Hopefully, I mean, it sucks that they all got bodied, but hopefully they were mostly done and they didn't need as many people, and that's why.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wait to see at this point.
That's sad.
Now, this one's for Bert. So,
Oh, I'm listening.
a few weeks, maybe a month ago, the 2024 financial reports for Unknown Worlds was released. The developers of
And?
Subnautica.
Yes.
And in said financial report, it was listed that Subnautica 2 is the title of the game. I guess because Below Zero is not 2, so this would be 2.
Mm-hmm.
It listed it as a live service game.
That's usually a red flag.
What are your thoughts on that, Bert?
I'm hoping. Okay. Depends what they do. I don't really see in the current game how they could really make it live service, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Let's
it's
see if you
listed
make it
as a continual multiplayer live service game.
Do they even have multiplayer?
Well, it's not out.
Didn't the original ones, weren't those just exclusively single player?
It's still in beta or something.
No, you can't play it. It doesn't exist. The game's still being made.
Subnautica 2?
Yeah.
What about so Below Zero is like an in between?
Yeah, he started
Okay.
the entire section with that preface.
I was kind of confused, but Sorry.
Yes, so there's a Subnautica 2
explained
that,
that part.
hasn't been
Okay.
released yet. It's in development.
So it's like a spin-off game. Okay, I get it.
Well, Below Zero would be the spin-off
I don't
game.
know. It depends what they do. I feel like I don't know. Really don't see how with the story. I mean, it depends what they do in the
I don't
story.
know. For me, like I hear live.
I don't really get how you would make a survival game live service multiplayer.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
good news, Bert.
I mean, you could add new like creatures and stuff. That could be cool.
Well,
Maybe
here-
expand the ocean.
Here's the good news about that. So the financial
Mm-hmm.
report that was released there by the company that owns them, that's what it said. Everyone was like, no, a live service Subnautica, battle passes, this is going to be shitty. The game's ruined before it's even out. Then the actual development studio, not the company that just owns them, came out and they were like, hey, they have no idea what they're talking about. It's not a live service game.
Oh wow, that's
Oh, so they just got it wrong.
Yeah,
in the
but
books.
IGN made a huge article about it being live service and having battle passes, and then because of that everyone believed it, and then they had to come out and be like, no, they're wrong.
So they were the whistleblowers for the wrong thing.
wow. That's
Yeah,
a big mess up.
Yeah. So they kind of just assumed they saw that one report and then just automatically assumed that it was going to have battle passes and all that other
It's
stuff.
crazy how these big giant companies can have these like big mess ups that you would think like you would be organized enough to like have everybody on the same page, but they still like mess up the most simple of things.
Yeah, you think you would call the
Well, it's
company
'cause
developing
they-
the game and be like, "Hey, is this true?"
It's because
Before you
they're just
post
trying
this.
to get it out first, is their goal.
Yeah. But I think that reflects poorly from a journalistic
I mean,
standpoint.
yeah, IGN has always been the biggest like gaming journalist, and they're like a clear joke to everyone. Everyone always knows that IGN is a joke.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I guess this just
Like you always have
further
to fact check
fuels that.
IGN when you look at it.
Mhm.
That's true.
And IGN,
Even for
like
simple
a
things that-
7 is just every game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7's their 5.
So now there was some reason that this confusion happened, though, because while they came out and they confirmed it's not going to be a live service game. There will be no battle pass or microtransactions. The way the game's going to work is the same as Subnautica 1 and Below Zero, where it comes out in early access for maybe a year-ish or so until it's fully done.
Okay, I like that.
But here's the good news, Bert, where I guess this is where the confusion came. So not multiplayer live service. They said it's going to be 1 to 4 player co-op multiplayer.
Okay,
That sounds better.
that I'm excited for because I've been kind of wanting Subnautica to
Yeah,
be multiplayer.
Subnautica
and
co-op.
the only way possible now is through mods,
Mm-hmm.
and even then they're
When
kind
you
of
do a
janky.
massive multiplayer game, live service, like a Call of Duty or a Fortnite or like Overwatch, stuff like that, I don't think that the model works very well. If you keep it co-op, so like 1 to 4 players, or you expand it to like 6 maybe, I think that is when live service has like the most potential to be exciting.
I think it depends on what you're doing. I think for PvE you're right, but I think for PvP you can go more with the
Yeah, because you can just add new maps to fight on.
with
New
PvP I
weapons,
think
new
you can go
customizations.
more into like the tons of people thing, but PvE I think co-op is always better than just
Yeah,
live
especially because in
service.
PvP, skins and stuff and like character looks
Yeah.
matter. I would say more.
Yeah, probably.
There's more competition to stand out.
Okay, well that's
So,
interesting. I would like to play.
good
I need to
news,
play the
honestly.
first 2.
That is
I've
got me in the first half.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, right? Well, everyone thought that when IGN put it out.
Yeah.
So, great news. No battle pass, no subscriptions, no live service. It's going to be and the first co-op Subnautica. Also, though, early access will not start this year. So, unfortunate.
Yeah, but
But, I mean,
it's okay. Something to look forward to next year.
well, I like to wait until it's out of early access, so I probably won't play it till the following year after that. But yeah, you should definitely play the first 2 within the next 2 years since you have time, and then we can all jump on the new one.
Yeah, especially because that game it's such a unique experience playing it for the first
Yeah,
time.
Literally amazing.
That's probably one of the only few games I wish I can go back and play with no prior knowledge.
I mean, I've got a lot of those, but that's definitely one of them.
I'm in a big solo single player gaming phase right now. Well, I guess not now.
That's a good
considering Helldivers, but
Yeah.
other stuff.
That's a great
We'll get
single
there
player
when we
game,
get
and it's
there.
not too long. It like if you aggressively do everything, maybe like 20 to 25 hours, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play it
And that's
eventually.
like 100%ing it.
Yeah.
And that's like maybe I might have done 35. I don't remember. But a lot of it is just because you're so scared. You're like kind of want to go there and you put it off.
Yeah, and you don't you don't find things because you put it off.
Yeah, you're like,
But-
nah, that's terrifying. I can't go there. It's
Why would I want to go down there?
yeah, like I just remember in Subnautica like pulling up to somewhere and then it would just be like freaking sheer 90 degree drop into darkness with like howling at the bottom, and I'd be like,
Yeah, you'd hear like roaring.
I'd be like, hell no,
Oh,
I am
man.
not going down there.
That sounds fun.
You just hear freaking, and then like eventually you do go down there and you can't see anything, and then you just see a freaking light and you're like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. All right. What other news do you have?
Last thing on Subnautica, there were some screenshots that came out. Looks like there was some kind of new vehicle, so that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Hey.
The sea moth is still peak though, just saying.
Yeah, that's so far my favorite traversal vehicle.
Yeah. So off.
Actually, the prawn suit with the grapple hook's pretty fun.
Yeah, I guess. I just like the sea moth. But anyways, off of Subnautica, I only got one more thing. There was like big Xbox stuff going on where it was like rumored that Xbox was going to be moving all its exclusives over to PlayStation and just opening them to be
Yeah,
for
I remember
everyone.
that.
So they came out and they basically confirmed what is going to be going on, and they're like, hey, no, we're not moving all of our exclusives to be open to everyone. We've picked 4 games specifically that will be moving to be on PlayStation as well. They said they couldn't say what the games are because they wanted the developers themselves to be able to be like coming to whatever with their next update or something.
Yeah, announce it themselves.
Yeah, which I guess is fair.
That reminds me.
It's fun for them, I'm sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Because that reminded me of something else that Xbox said.
Yeah. So they said there's 4 games, didn't say what it was, but that all of them are over a year old, at this point are mostly community driven, and are franchises that they want to be able to grow more, that have kind of like reached what they would consider like what they can do on just Xbox.
Yeah, they're probably
Master
plateauing.
Chief Collection.
That's what I was thinking, and I'm hoping MCC, I really am. They said 2 are smaller games and 2 are bigger ones. So like 2 indie or like double like mid-tier games, and then
Okay.
2 bigger ones. They did say though that it's not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Okay.
There are like a lot of rumors of what people think they are, and like the common things that people are like, this is probably what it is. Was
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect's not exclusive.
No, Mass Effect. Gears of War. That's the one.
Oh. No. So the ones they said, well, not that they said, but that people are thinking, it's like the common thought people are thinking it's going to be these 4 is Pentiment. I don't know what that is, honestly. I've never heard of it. Anyone else heard of that?
No, I don't know
No.
what that is.
I guess that's one of the smaller ones. Hi-Fi Rush. That's a smaller one, but a popular
I've heard
one.
that one.
Grounded. You guys know that one.
Yeah.
And Sea
That's
of
a
Thieves.
pretty good one.
I think Sea of Thieves would be a good one.
That's a
Yeah.
viable
I
one.
think
That would
Sea of
probably look
Thieves-
so good on the PS5.
I think Sea of Thieves is a good pick because that's a game that, like, while it's not huge, every year it gets a fairly decent update, and just bringing in more players, you know, that's a good pick. Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves, I think.
I feel like they have a slow but steady player base growth.
Yeah, they're pretty like good size, like consistent content. That's a really good pick. I feel like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, and I could see Sea of Thieves kind of reaching its max point at Xbox right now, if not like dipping. It's probably plateaued or dipped, so a release on PlayStation would probably bump it back up a little bit.
Especially because
cross-platform.
Yeah, and not only that, like Sea of Thieves is like one of those games that's known for having a trash launch, and everyone's like, it's good now. So now it'll get to have a good launch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, people would actually want to pre-order and buy it and stuff.
Yeah. So Sea of Thieves is a good pick. I'll still hold out hope that MCC is one of them, just because I want that to be what keeps, like, it draws attention back to MCC and we get a couple more updates. But honestly, I don't think MCC will be it, because I feel like if you moved the Master Chief, if you moved the Master Chief collection and people played, 6 Halo games, that would leave like a feeling that the new ones would then be there too eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to pull a franchise.
Half of a franchise.
The rest of it.
And then never do the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like a weird move. So I don't think it would be that. I want it to be. But yeah, as far as this goes, I think Sea of Thieves is probably, honestly, that, like, just thinking of Xbox games, that's probably the best pick I think they could have done.
Yeah, that's exciting though, because it would just mean more people playing the game.
Yeah. Just small side thing though, speaking of Halo, MCC did get an update a week ago, or a week and a half ago, first time in almost a year. Some bug fixes, but still, like, hasn't been updated in a while, so hopefully that's, like, maybe we'll get, like, one, because there's, like, the Halo community has been, like, there's this thing going around where there's this, like, Google Doc of, like, fixes and things that people want for one last big MCC update.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, so
that is.
Hopefully we get some of that stuff.
Or hopefully.
At least the bug fixes, because, like, there are some bugs that should be fixed. Yeah,
you don't want to leave, if not add anything new, at least fix what you have in.
Yeah, I mean, the recent one they just did, they fixed the shot registration in Halo 2 that they broke 10 years ago, so only took them 10 years to make the game work.
Wow.
That is all I have for news.
All right.
Oh, wait, actually, I just remembered one more thing that, just because I saw it today, I didn't have it written down, but I just remembered it. The, like, advanced previews of the Avatar show have been released, and people have reviewed the first episode, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. What do they say?
Apparently, it's fire.
That's good. I'm excited for that.
People are saying that it's, like, really, really good.
Nice. I like to hear that. I'm excited to
Now, that's just the first episode, so who knows? But the thing is, like, a week ago or something like that, they put out the show clip of the Aang versus Boomy scene. You guys remember that from the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks terrible. So, like, it almost looks like that scene from the movie where they move like 1,000,000 times to make one rock slowly float across the screen.
Oh, gosh.
No.
Yeah, but then all these, like, advanced review things are saying that the CG and the effects and the fight scenes are god tier in the first episode, so maybe it's just that scene, or maybe it's earthbending, which would suck.
Maybe they just didn't finish the effects, and you just got an early version of it.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. I feel like they wouldn't have put that scene out.
Yeah, if they thought it was bad, they probably thought it was good.
So, hopefully, that's just one scene that's shitty.
Yeah.
Because from what I'm seeing, everyone's like, it looks great, but maybe it's just earthbending. That shit is, like, really the only thing I can think, because there's not much earthbending in season 1. It's literally, like, probably only Boomy that earthbends, and then that one guy, what's his name? With, like, the prison camp Katara.
Oh, with the coal.
Yeah. Those guys.
I don't remember them either.
I know who you're talking about.
I feel like his name is Yu,
the villagers.
but I could be wrong. Yeah, but there's not much earthbending in the first book, so maybe it won't be that bad because there isn't much earthbending in the first book, and then like season 2 they'll fix it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just that one scene, you know? Who knows?
Maybe season 1's earthbending will get such a bad reaction that they will fix it for season 2.
Yeah, who knows?
If you know what I mean. But when is the show supposed to come out?
Thursday. All 8 episodes, the whole first book.
So at the time of hearing this, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'll probably binge the whole thing that day. I'm so excited for that. Unless it, like, is so shitty that I quit, like, 2 episodes.
If it's unwatchable, I'll probably watch it all that night.
Yeah, it's 8 hours, though.
Yeah.
Not sleeping. Simple as that.
I'm excited for it.
Me too.
More excited than I thought I would be. I just really hope that that's, like, a one-off bad CG scene, because it looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that, I believe, is all my news.
All right, cool. So I'll get started. I'm going to go with that Xbox thing that I just remembered. It's Helldivers related. So Phil Spencer was saying something about how he wishes that Sony would allow Helldivers to come to Xbox because it's only on PC and PlayStation 5 right now.
I did see this, actually.
He said he doesn't really understand who in the industry it actually helps. It doesn't help the developers. It doesn't really help the sales of the game.
They're in the reserves.
Yeah.
The entire PlayStation.
He then also said, but he does understand it because he acknowledged that Xbox does do the same thing for certain games. So it's kind of nice to see somebody that's high up in a major company like Microsoft acknowledge the fact that they do some things that don't really benefit the industry and that they're aware. So that was kind of cool to hear.
In the last, like, I would say since like 2016, 17, Xbox has been like champion of the people. Game Pass is super consumer friendly. They are like 100% in on crossplay, and Sony isn't.
Yeah, I agree. They do a lot for that kind of stuff, which is really nice. And as somebody who's played Xbox like exclusively.
And now they're starting to move some games over to PlayStation too. So
yeah, maybe Helldivers is one of them.
Well, that would be PlayStation to Xbox, so that would be the other way around. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but so that was.
Yeah, that probably won't happen because Sony doesn't even like crossplay.
I'm not hopeful for that, but anyway. So when was it? The Super Bowl.
Oh,
the Super Bowl was like I don't know when it was as of recording this episode, like 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. So a bunch of trailers dropped during that. So I'm gonna like go over all of those real quick, and we'll kind of talk about them each quickly. There was one for Wicked. It was like the what's it called? Oh, I'm having a brain meltdown. The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. It's like the Wizard of Oz remake. That looked like it could be good.
Can't wait to not watch that.
I think you kind of
unpopular opinion. Wizard of Oz is so boring.
It's old now, so it's kind of hard to watch. But it's like one of those classic movies.
There's like 2 remakes though.
Yeah, but the original. It's like one of those classics though that just for the fact that it's a classic, I feel like you kind of have to watch the remake and see how they spin it and modernize it. So I think it could be cool. And the Wizard of Oz has so much like detail and like hidden messaging in it that it's kind of crazy for like if you were aware of the time period that it came out in.
Who owns that?
I don't remember who's doing it.
Is it Disney?
No, I don't think it's Disney.
So it has a chance.
Yeah.
It has a chance, Bert.
Yeah, so I would like for us to see that eventually when it comes out. There was a Twister sequel kind of announced. Called Twisters. I don't know how that's going to go, but it looked like it could be interesting. It has Glenn Powell in it from Top Gun. I think he's been in a lot of stuff lately.
He is like barely a character in Top Gun.
Yeah, but he's all over the place now. I see him everywhere. But and it looks like he has he's the main role, the lead. And I do like him. So Twisters, that could be something cool to watch.
That's gonna be That's gonna be one of those movies that's just shitty but funny.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's gonna be.
They're enjoyable to watch. Regardless.
Yeah, it's nice when they lean into it and they're aware of that. Makes it more enjoyable.
Like Sharknado.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be on that level, but yeah. Godzilla versus
There's so
Godzilla
many
X
of those
Kong
movies.
that had a new trailer,
Yeah, that's-
extended trailer that came out. They revealed the what's the name of the Titan? It's like the Shimu Titan or something. It's like the original Titan. It's supposed to be like the most powerful thing ever. So
I don't know.
that and the Scar King, which is the giant
I don't know either.
gorilla or monkey, whatever it is.
That movie looks mid as hell.
Yeah, but we're still gonna watch it. But
And that movie really should have tried to come out before the good one, because like even if it's kind of good, it's gonna look like shit compared to -1.
yeah, -1's on a different level. What else did we have? Moana 2. That kind of excited me. I love Moana.
Moana is overrated.
I love Moana. I think
What?
Moana is great.
No,
me
Thanks,
too.
Bert.
Moana is no Tangled.
You're outvoted.
Okay, Tangled's solid.
Tangled is
too,
good.
but
So-
there's not a Tangled 2 coming out.
Moana, I'll admit this though, because the most overrated Disney movie of all time is Frozen, and Moana's better than Frozen.
I think I
that
would
I-
agree with that. This is a good topic for another episode. The Disney princess movies ranking.
Hey, I'm
Disney
actually a
rankings.
big fan of the Disney princess movies.
Me too.
I like most of them. I actually like Frozen, but because it was like so aggressively hyped when I thought it was just like pretty good, it made me dislike it.
Yeah, I understand that. I like Frozen.
But like Tangled, I feel like is the most underrated of all the freaking Disney princess movies.
It's definitely
That
not
is, like,
talked about.
peak. Tangled is so good.
It is good. But I'm excited for Moana 2. And I was not excited when they announced like the live action thing. So I'm glad we got this Moana 2 that's the traditional animated style and everything.
Yo, Moana, huge disappointment for me though, because I remember when I like saw the trailers and stuff, I thought the pig was gonna be in it more. That pig is barely in the movie.
Yeah. And the soundtrack in Moana goes hard. I love that soundtrack. It's so good.
Yeah, maybe I'm biased because
It
I do
is.
not
And the
like Dwayne
visuals are
Johnson.
nice. Yeah, they are
He
biased.
just annoys
Like
me.
the way the water looks.
Yeah.
Like every time I hear his voice, I'm like, that's him. Freaking Dwayne Johnson, man. He ruins the whole movie for me.
Okay, but at least he can sing.
He
don't
was
know
good
about
at it,
that.
yeah.
Like he's a good singer.
For that type of
He just
singing,
says, "You're
yeah.
welcome."
He was good for that. It was catchy. I love that song.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Yo, slight side thing. It's not a Disney movie, but it's in the same animated style. Have you guys ever seen? Crap, what's it called? Like Sea Beast or something? The Netflix animated like sea monster hunting. Movie?
I heard about that.
That's a good movie. Watch that one.
I haven't.
I probably actually will watch that. I did see that. I forgot about it though. But yeah, Moana 2. I'm excited. We're definitely going to see that. Another one, Kung Fu Panda 4. That had a trailer.
I'm excited for this.
I'm iffy about this one. I did not think Kung Fu Panda 3 was very good.
I never saw 3.
I did like 2 and 1, so
Yo, wait. Am I misremembering? I feel like something I actually cared about was announced. That it was like a sequel to something similar to Kung Fu Panda.
animated?
Yeah.
I could be forgetting something. There was a lot. I've got one other thing on my list, or 2 other things on my list, but it's not animated.
You keep going. I'll just figure it out while you're doing that.
But yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4, I'm excited for that. We'll probably rewatch all the Kung Fu Panda movies when that comes out. Talk about that.
The third one's my least.
Yeah, me
favorite.
too. Another one that I'm excited for, Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is a full
Oh,
title.
I am actually excited for that.
Yeah, I recently watched all of the Planet of the Apes movies, like maybe a few months ago, and they are very good. So I'm excited for that. It takes place after the more modern trilogy, so could be something to look for and could be good. And it takes place like years and years after Caesar's death, so the setting's different and it is interesting. And we're getting closer to that timeline of when the original movies came out, which is also kind of cool. What else? There's one other one.
Okay. I figured out the things that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Inside Out 2, That I'm excited
Oh
for.
yes, yeah. I mean, I do like Inside Out.
And this, I guess I
Oh,
just saw
yeah.
this somewhere.
Anxiety.
Apparently, I'm not sure how old this is, but I just recently saw that How to Train Your Dragon 4 was confirmed.
I don't know if that's true or not. I know they're
But
doing
for
the
next
live action
year.
thing. I just saw there's another thing actually.
No, I have it right here. It's confirmed, but not for this year.
Oh wow, that's exciting. I know the live action thing is
I don't know
in
how to.
development. They just released some like set photos of that.
How to Train Your Dragon is like one of the top of animated.
Yeah, I don't know how I
series.
feel about a fourth one though, because I feel like the third one left it in such a perfect
Yeah, it was
ending.
perfect.
Well, it looks like this is years later. He looks old.
Mm,
He's got like a full beard. and
dang, I kind of
He's old.
I don't know how I feel about that. I love the ending of the original trilogy.
I'm gonna watch it out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah, same.
I gotta watch them
Depending
again.
on how
It's
it
been so long since I've
ends,
seen
is
them.
I'm gonna determine if it exists.
Oh my god, and the
Anyways,
music in that
that's
trilogy is crazy too.
That's for a long time from now. This year, though, Inside Out 2. That's probably my top animated movie for this year that I'm excited for.
Yeah, I don't remember when they said Moana's coming out. I forgot already. And then the last one of the trailers that dropped, the one that I'm the most excited for, Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the official working title for the movie, so that's going to be sick. I'm so excited for that. And the trailer...
Yeah, me too. I love Deadpool.
Yeah, and the trailer looked awesome. Tons of TVA stuff going on, tons of multiverse stuff going on. Ryan Reynolds looks great in the suit as always. The dialogue already looked pretty cool. They had the little comment about it, them being with Disney already, like right in
I
the
hope
beginning.
that they
Which is
shit
weird.
on the recent trash Disney movies.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be something about that stuff. Ryan,
I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't let them, but I hope they do it. I hope they like mention what's about like Ant-Man or frickin' the Marvels or something and say how it's shit.
maybe, yeah. I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be awesome. Deadpool is the Marvel Messiah, as he called himself in the trailer. So I have hope for the MCU with that movie. That should be good. And it's the only MCU movie we're getting this year, so that's a good. I think we need a little bit of a break from all of that. So one
I don't
movie
know,
will be good.
True.
I do think it'll be good just because it's been going on for a while and it's Deadpool, but like the Marvel stuff is just so bad lately. But luckily this one seems like it was mostly worked on like by the people that were working on it before, so it shouldn't get shit until the next one or until they bring him into something else.
And Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are like super involved, and Ryan Reynolds isn't gonna let Disney kind of change. He knows the character better than anybody, so
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean
Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds are pretty synonymous.
that doesn't mean that he can control everything.
I mean, he's already refused to do some things, and Hugh Jackman too. They completely wrote out certain things that Disney wanted them to do, and they said no. So there is good signs for that. But
we'll
I'm hyped
see.
for that.
I will. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And then the day after the Super Bowl, I believe, was X-Men 97 got its first trailer. That's the Disney Plus animated series of the continuation of the original X-Men, the animated series from the 90s, which I've seen all of that show. That show's really good. You guys should watch that if you ever get a chance.
I've seen it all, but it's been so long, I barely remember.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. The character, like, and the art styles of the characters all look good. They look modern and new, but they still have the style from the 90s show, which is cool, with like little modern tweaks. But it takes place like right after the last episode of where it ended back in the 90s, so it should be fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I've heard a lot of controversy about that, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, there has been a bunch of things that it's like woke and other things like that. So we'll see how bad it actually gets. But I think it'll be okay. I think if anything, there'll be minor things that they change, but we'll see. I think that's it for trailers and Marvel stuff.
I saw this toxic thing about the not Marvel's, the X-Men 97 thing, where people were complaining about Wolverine's voice actor, and the guy was like, hey, I'm like 20 years older now. I can't help it. And they were just like shitting on him for sounding different.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't bother me.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
No, I'm not worried. I'm just saying that it was toxic that they were like trolling him like that.
Yeah. Okay, another Marvel thing. Madam Web came out. It's not MCU, but it is Marvel. I'm hearing...
Heard it's pretty good.
We have not seen it yet, so we don't have really an opinion on it because we haven't seen it. But the internet consensus is very bad for that movie. Some people are saying it's the worst comic book movie they've ever seen. They're saying it's going to be the worst movie of 2024. There's a lot of really bad things that I'm hearing about it.
Honestly, I don't believe that because... let me run you through it. First of all, for me, I think The Flash is... terrible, like the absolute worst thing I've ever seen, at least for like a movie of that budget. And this like last year, the popular opinion was that The Marvels was the absolute dog shittiest worst movie ever. And even though I did not think The Marvels was good, I thought it was 1,000 times better than Flash, and I actually thought the first 20-ish minutes were good, and then it turned into garbage. And because on the Marvels, everyone was like, this is the worst movie in the history of the world, and it just ended up being really bad, not like mind-blowingly bad.
Yeah.
I think this Madam Web will probably just be really bad.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll blow my mind with how bad it was. Like, freaking Flash blew my mind. I was like, how is it this bad?
Yeah. You're harder on Flash, though, than a lot of other people. But it's definitely not
How can
good.
you spend
it was
$100 million plus and have the worst CGI I've ever seen? And it's so common. Like, there's so much CGI and it's all bad.
Yeah. No, I can't argue the CGI stuff. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, The Flash is not good. I'm not saying it's good. I agree with you. But I don't think it's as bad as you say. But it's definitely bad. But anyway.
But it's worse than the Marvels.
Yes, I think it's worse than the Marvels. But yeah, so Madam Web, I will probably go see it just because I've seen every Marvel movie ever. So I kind of feel obligated to do so. If you guys want to see it, come and we will watch it and then we will talk about it. But if not, I will mention it again at some point if I do see it and give my opinion.
I'll probably go see it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but we're in no rush to see that. I don't have high hopes. Another Marvel thing. This Henry Cavill rumor thing that you mentioned, Sebastian, like outside of the podcast a few days ago, is gaining speed and like momentum. Apparently, he's in the talks to play Captain Britain, which is Brian Braddock from the Marvel Universe. I think that's a pretty cool role for him. He has expressed interest before, like years ago, talking about thinking that it would be fun to play that character. So he's familiar with the character, and it's actually to the point now where his schedule is a lot more freed up now that he is no longer a part of The Witcher. So
now that he got fucked by everyone that he worked with.
Yeah, he's doing that Warhammer project though. Henry Cavill is, which looks like it could be interesting.
True.
But
I don't really know anything about Warhammer.
But Henry Cavill in the MCU would be a great addition. He's a good actor, and
I feel like with him in the MCU, sorry to cut you off, but he would probably try to protect the canon, so to speak, or the comics more.
Yeah.
He tried to do that with The Witcher before.
Yeah,
he literally quit because they wouldn't stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I agree. I think having him around helps just from the name alone, and then I think he does care like a lot about his characters and tries to make it so that they're portrayed in a way that is favorable. But yeah. Then the last Marvel thing, this one was cool. There's been rumors about it for forever, and they finally released it. It was on Valentine's Day. Marvel dropped the it was like a I don't know what it was. It was like a photo, like an animated photo with rendering of like the actors that are cast finally to play the Fantastic Four. So the cast officially is going to be Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not super on board, but I'm not like totally against it either. Vanessa Kirby as the Invisible Woman. I think that's a great casting. I think that's a really good one. She's in Mission Impossible. If you saw her, you would know her. I don't think you guys know the name, but she's really good. I like her. Joseph Quinn, Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. He is playing the Human Torch. I think that is also another pretty good casting.
Eddie, is the third best character in that show?
I think that is a good casting. I like him.
That is a good
And
one.
then Yvonne Moss.
People will like him too.
People love him. Yvonne Moss Barak. He is in The Bear. He's going to play the Thing. And I think that's also pretty like spot on casting right there for him as the Thing. Ben Grimm. But yeah, the only one that I'm kind of iffy on is Reed or Pedro Pascal, who's the Mandalorian. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's all over the place. He's doing everything right now. But I don't know. What do you guys think of that casting?
I don't really know anything about those people besides Eddie, so
Yeah.
don't know.
But yeah, so that's cool. We will get them in the future. Hopefully not too far away. And what else do I have? That's pretty much. Oh, I have a couple game things.
I have one more thing when you are done.
Okay. Assassin's Creed Red or Codename Red hasn't. I don't know if that's going to be the official title or whatever, but there's been a bunch of leaks about that. Apparently, it's set in feudal Japan. Finally, fans have been asking for that for years. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you brought this up
Oh, maybe I did.
last step.
Yeah, and then there's an AC Infinity or something like that. It's like a hub for like all of Assassin's Creed games. Apparently, you're going to be able to like play and launch every game from that. So
Like an MCC for Assassin's
yeah,
Creed.
basically, or like Call of Duty does it now too, where they have like a hub for where you can install and download and play all of their games, like all the way back.
Oh, so yeah, that's a little different from MCC then, because MCC's is
Yeah, that
like
is.
a integrated experience, not just a launcher.
No, yeah, it's supposed to be
That's
like
true.
an experience type of thing. There's supposed to be like narrative elements to it and like story elements, and it's supposed to be a little more in depth than just a launcher. But yeah, something kind of, I guess, interesting. I don't know. Turned off by Assassin's Creed for the last few years, but that's it. That's all my news. What'd you have?
Is
Okay.
it time?
I have one. I can't believe I forgot this
Oh.
because this is probably the one that I was most excited for. But it was so long ago because it happened like one day after we recorded that I freaking forgot. One day after we recorded a news one because we had the Halo one between. So it's been like 2 weeks now. The trailer for the Knuckles show came out.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. We did see that.
Have you seen it, Bert?
I don't think so.
Oh, you
no.
should watch it. It's good. Or it looks like it
pretty
could
good.
be good.
It comes next month. So Knuckles show comes out in March. I forgot the exact date, but it comes out in March. It looks interesting. It looks better than I expected because it's a TV show, I figured the quality of like Knuckles would look worse in the movies, but it seems to be pretty on par with the movie's quality CG.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it too. I think it looks like visually
That's
very
good,
good
at least.
still. So, and I think I like the storyline that they're going with, like a Knuckles kind of solo adventure. I'm with that, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I
but
feel like they have to be careful with how it looks though, because if like a TV show comes bad, it's gonna put people off to see a movie.
Yeah,
yeah, well, also just because this makes me kind of happy, just because I expected to see zero of this. Knuckles TV show, Sonic and Tails were in the trailer, so they'll probably only be in like the first episode, but I didn't think they'd be in it at all, so that's kind of cool.
yeah, I agree. That is fun.
And then as far as like the story, it seems pretty like standard, just some bad guy that looks pretty generic from what I can tell. Unless I missed a name or something, I don't think he exists in like the Sonic world. It must just be some like random bad guy that is a movie only thing.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll lead into something bigger.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into because there was one scene in the trailer that showed an image of at least in the games, this is how it is. I don't know if in the movies it's the same because we know nothing of the Echidna clan in the movies except for that they're apparently gone. You see the leader of the Echidna clan in a single short image in the trailer.
Interesting.
The same,
I'm not too familiar with Sonic lore.
yeah, his name's
but-
like, I don't know how to say it. It's like Pachacamac or
I get the idea of
Pachacamac or something like that. Well, point is, in the games, he like led the freaking extermination of the Chows, which then eventually led to the rise of chaos and then the extinction of the Echidna clan.
Okay. Oh, that could be very cool if they went that route.
It could be.
It would be cool to see some references to chaos.
Yeah, I would be all in for that.
That would be very exciting. Like, I don't expect them to do chaos in a show, obviously, but I would like to just see a reference to him, and I would love to just see a Chow. That would be cool.
I would love to see Chows. That'd be so fun.
Maybe I should start looking into the lore so I can understand what I'm going to be seeing soon.
Yeah. I don't know much either.
If it does it right, you won't need to. You would just learn it from the show if they do it right.
Yeah, but I like to have a more in-depth understanding, personally.
Yeah.
Versus, like, a lot of the times, like, the show will probably, like, simplify.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they have to just for TV's sake.
Exactly. To make it more digestible.
I'm just curious how he is even alive, because he's in the second movie. Knuckles says that his clan was extinct, so clearly that still happens, but apparently not this guy.
Yeah.
So they'll have to explain it.
I'm not sure though, because I believe that in the movies their clan was extinct by the owls, which is not how it happens in the games. It happens from chaos. So I don't know like how that will differ things going forward.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay.
But looks cool. Looks interesting. I'm excited to watch it.
All right. Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Now, our next segment is our Percy Jackson review. So, Bert, you're going to kind of lead this one so that way we can kind of stay on track. We're going to give like our general thoughts and opinions on the whole thing. We'll kind of go through the episodes kind of quickly. And
just before you start, I don't really remember where each episode starts and ends.
Yeah, I don't either.
So when you're... Oh boy. Okay.
Hang on. I'll open up
That's
Disney
fine.
Plus and I'll remember.
I can break us through the events.
Yeah.
We don't need the episode numbers. Just walk through it.
Yeah, I just want to know how the show
in
went.
Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I have one thing to say about how it starts.
So first of all, what do you guys think of it in general before we get into it?
I'll go first. I liked it. I watched the whole thing and I was entertained pretty much for like the majority of it. There were definitely parts of it that I was like, I feel like they had a limit on their budget here, or I feel like they should have spent more time here or something, but I don't know. The one thing that bothered me the most with the show is like there's all these incredible Greek gods and there's this deep mythology, and I feel like we just didn't get any of it. Like they're there and like they're mentioned, but I feel like they don't go like deep enough in it. And the episodes that they do go in is when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like totally on board with this stuff. So it's like I wish they would have leaned more into that.
That's kind of one of my complaints. Like my general complaints was a lot of like the mythology. Well, not mythology, but I felt like a lot of the show got toned back, or the translation got toned back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that explains it, because like the Medusa fight.
Oh yeah. So let's walk through it.
That was cool. Okay, we'll start.
Yeah, so
I didn't even get to do mine.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Sebastian.
I did not like it. I'm not sure if it's bad or if I'm just not the audience for this, but I just find it very hard to believe that this like dumb, stupid ass little kid is doing all this stuff. Maybe they just don't build him up enough in the show, but I feel like he is a dumbass that accidentally does things right, but then he acts like he did it on purpose every time.
I don't think he acts like it at all. I feel like if anything, he was like avoiding it as much as he could.
One thing that kind of stinks is that you kind of miss a lot of the in the books he talks to himself a lot about this, but he also kind of had to grow up quick, because there was I don't know how to you think.
I mean, they try to build him up in like the scenes in the camp, but the camp just doesn't last long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they
He actually wasn't in camp that long. He was only in camp. Actually, he was in camp for a little bit.
Well,
But, like,
just
maybe
one
a
thing
week or two
to like
in the book.
to not to skip forward, but like he like is stronger than I feel like he should be, but I don't feel like that's because like he shouldn't be that strong. I feel like it's just because the show didn't show me him getting that strong, because like you go through the whole show before it flashes back and shows you that he actually got trained, and you're like, oh, so he did actually learn something. But even though like 6 episodes straight, I'm like, how the hell does he know how to do this stuff?
Yeah, there was a few moments like that for me where I was like, okay, like this kid really did that. I was like, but I also was able to like suspend my disbelief a little bit, because it's like we're talking about gods and demigods. Like he has some innate, innate ability to do something. So I'm like, I can roll with that.
Like in the earlier fight scenes and stuff, a lot of like the feats he was pulling off were purely reactional and instinct.
Yeah.
Because one thing they don't really make a preference on is that the demigods' brains are like, they're just actually different. Like they're they're more built for combat. And that's why they have the ADHD thing. And they say, I don't know if they say it directly.
They do mention something about it. They hint at it.
But they say that like the ADHD keeps them alive. Like that's one of the first things that Annabeth says, is that like your ADHD is a good thing because it keeps you moving and like alert and aware of your surroundings, even in like combat scenarios.
Yeah, they do hint at that.
Which is one thing they don't do too in the show is they kind of like, they show the little things that if you read the book you would know, but if you don't absorb every little information, every bit of detail from the show, you'll probably miss.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
I think my main problem comes from that it just went too fast. I feel like he was like beating gods in fights way faster than he should have. Like I was like, damn, like an hour ago this guy sucked at everything and now he's beating a literal god.
Yeah, there's I know what you're talking about. There's a couple scenes at the end that I was like, what the heck? How did we get to this point already? But I don't know.
Well, okay, let's start in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of jumping around.
Yeah, so basically in the beginning you're introduced to
his life is shit.
Yeah, Percy and his mom. And his life kind of sucks because he gets bounced around like a bunch of schools and a bunch of different places because
he gets kicked out of school.
Yeah, he keeps like drawing pictures about mythical creatures and seeing things and ending up in places that he shouldn't be because of his...
One thing they do... So in the books, he gets expelled a lot because of problems, and his grades are terrible because he has dyslexia.
Yeah, he can't focus on anything.
So school is just impossible for him pretty much.
Yeah, he does not do good in school, and he has a hard time staying focused and all of that. And it's like shown that he is like special in a way, like he has abilities that other people don't. And his mom knows about it. She tries to like
his mom
prepare him
is aware,
for these
but
things.
she doesn't really feed into it.
Yeah, she's trying to like just give him as normal a life as she can. But it picks up like super fast, so you get like that little bit of intro. Yeah. And then we're like at his school and he's like seeing like demons and monsters and stuff. And then they're like physically there and like attacking him, but then nobody else can see it.
You're jumping so much. So what happened is that they're on a field trip at the museum.
That's literally what I just said. I just didn't say that they were on a field trip.
Okay, well, so this is one of my complaints. What I was trying to get into was because in the show, Miss Dodds, his math teacher, attacks him in open public. In the books, so after he squirted Nancy with the water fountain unintentionally, or like pushed her into it or whatever, Miss Dodds noticed it, and then that's when she called Percy away into like a construction area in the museum, which the movie actually does get some things better than the show. Like the movie did a good job showing pulling Percy away. And then, like, as Percy and her were having a conversation, Miss Dodge transformed into the monster and started attacking him. And then Chiron and Grover ran into, and that's when Percy got the sword.
That makes a little more sense than the show, because there were multiple times in the show where he's like in fights and in public and stuff. And I get that people don't see the creatures,
the mist,
but they're so many times that these creatures absolutely destroy like structures. How is no one noticing that? Like they blow out the back of buildings and buses and streets and no one cares.
So this gets explained in the books. So for example, when Percy and Ares are fighting on the beach, the police the police in the books end up coming and they see Ares holding a shotgun. And they never directly say what Percy was seeing. But a lot of like the destruction and stuff gets explained away in like in like weather events and phenomena. So like I'm sure I think in like which one, like the bus? I think they just said it was like a freak accident.
That was like,
or like a lightning.
That was like one of the craziest ones for me. I was like, no one is wondering why this bus just exploded.
Yeah. The mist, because Chiron says, I think kind of early on, like don't underestimate the human ability to like dumb things down so they understand it. So a lot of like the stuff that happens in their world, quote unquote, gets just like ignored.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like, they say that it like these crazy things go unnoticed, but they go noticed, but they get explained away by logical reasoning versus like, oh, it was like a god fighting a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but they should have shown that more because it was like definitely not clear. Like I said, I understand they don't see the creatures, but there should have been some scene of like someone at least being like, "What the hell did you kids do?" or something like that.
Yeah, just like have the police like surrounding the bus and be like, "I don't know how the fuck this just happened." Like I just acknowledge the fact that they are aware that this is crazy.
Yeah, well, Percy in the books is like a wanted criminal for blowing up his stepdad's Mustang or whatever it was, Camaro.
Yeah, well, let's not get ahead because I actually have something I wanted to say about that when we get later in.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so, anyways, pushed into the fountain, attacked.
Yeah, he's attacked and then gets expelled again because everybody thinks he lied about it.
So then Grover throws him under the bus.
Oh yeah.
But then that also really annoyed me because in the books they just kind of, so after Miss Dodds gets killed, everyone forgets that she ever existed. So at the time, even Grover was playing along. Like everyone was playing along with it, and no one really like life
Didn't
continued
that happen
on
in the show?
Yeah, but then that night, Percy and like heard Grover and Chiron talking, and like the discussion were like kind of sus to Percy, and it freaked him out. And he thought Grover. That's when he thought Grover was ratting him out.
In the show, he like just blatantly does it. He's like, "Yeah, Percy did that."
Yeah, like right then and there. But
and Percy's just like, "Dude, what?" Yeah. But yeah, so then he gets expelled again, and he has like a heart-to-heart with his mom, and they have like flashback scenes where he's had like this problem before, like he doesn't want to do things or whatever. And I don't know how we get to this point, but then his mom like finally.
I want to make a comment on
what
is. It's really cool how they go back and show the mom thing because they do not do that in the books, and it just adds to like so much more.
Yeah, I did like those scenes. I felt like that grounded him more, and like you were able to understand,
like when he's little,
when he was a kid.
Yeah, when he's like
with like his mom dropping him off at school and stuff. They did not talk about that. It gets mentioned a lot, but I think it goes more to add, and it makes it's more impactful later on.
Yeah, and it makes the relationship with his mom mean more too.
Yeah, honestly, for me, like one of the few things that works is his drive to save his mother. That's like one of the few things that I think actually makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. That was like the driving force for me too.
That's why he did everything he did was for his mom, pretty much.
Yeah, and I was.
Yeah, and then the other thing was just like
could not care
the
less
other thing was just like I'll do it because I'm there already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think at this point we saw some of the blue foods.
I think that was before he went to school.
Yeah, so there's like they show like blue candy and foods and stuff in the books. It's because I'm trying to remember the sentence.
I don't know.
So in the books, Sally, Percy's mom, one night like made like a blue pancake or something for Percy for his birthday, and Gabe was like, blue foods aren't real food. So then out of spite, from then on, like everything she made for Percy was blue.
Uh,
And that's kind of where it comes from.
I
Because one
actually-
thing they do is they make Gabe a lot nicer.
I was just about to
In
say
the
that.
show.
I was saying Gabe just seemed like kind of a dick, not a total asshole. He just seemed like a average, like, oh, that guy's kind of a dick, but not like,
Yeah,
wow,
so-
what a shitty person, you know?
Mm-hmm. Did Percy and Grover go back to New York together?
when?
I don't think so.
Okay. After he got expelled from
Oh,
school.
no, he
because
didn't.
They did in the
Yeah, no, he
books.
didn't.
They met at the beach.
Oh, yeah, okay. So what were you going to say, though?
Yeah, so
That was it.
Percy and his mom decide that they're going to go on a trip because Percy's having problems. So she takes him to this beach house, and she's like telling him all this stuff
house.
about his heritage, and how she's like talking crazy about demigods and all kinds of stuff. And he's like,
Yeah,
he's
she
like,
just
"Mom,"
started throwing this
it's like,
stuff on
"Mom,
him.
what the hell are you talking about? Are you losing your mind?" And so then they get there, and then Grover shows up too, and he's like, oh, "How's this little rat here?" And this guy just
Yeah, but
ratted
with
on me.
horns and legs.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Oh, one thing we forgot to mention was when Percy was traveling home, he ran across these ladies that were knitting, and like they cut a string. That's important. They were
That was on that.
for context.
I
They
thought
were
that was
That
later.
happened later.
Oh no, or does it happen
And
twice?
that was Annabeth.
Yeah, I thought that happened to Annabeth.
Oh, I don't know. It should have happened when Percy was going home from school.
I definitely
Maybe
know
that happened in the
happened.
background and I didn't realize.
Maybe Annabeth. Oh, maybe it happened later in the show.
Yeah, I think it did.
In the show, it happened to Annabeth in St. Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah. So for context, those were the three fates.
yeah, I got.
And
I was
it-
able
Yeah,
to
they
get
explain
that.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, they
Yeah.
did. Okay.
She literally says, "Hey, I saw the three fates. One of us is dying."
Okay.
yeah,
Forget.
Exact
It's
words.
been a while since I saw the show.
yeah. So
Sorry.
anyway, Grover shows up and he's like, "Why'd you bring this guy here? He literally just ratted me out at school." And then they're all like, "Percy, you don't understand. Your life is about to go crazy. You're a demigod."
Then Percy looks down and goes, "TF, why are you a goat?"
Yeah, Grover now has goat
Yeah.
legs and horns because he's a surtur or a satyr. I don't know which one. Oh yeah,
Satyr.
surtur's the freaking monster in Thor Ragnarok. But he's basically like a goat human hybrid. He does stuff, and he's 25 years old apparently when Percy's like 12.
So
24.
Satyrs age half the rate of humans.
Ah, makes
So
sense.
Whatever Grover is, they don't say that directly, but that's
Okay,
the canonical.
That makes
reason
sense.
He looks 12.
Yo,
so
Grover is so fucking annoying, and he never gets better.
yeah, he was. He
I know.
annoyed
I
the crap
wish
out of me.
they did my boy Grover dirty. He was so chill in the books.
He's such a little.
He is
like,
so
baby.
He's like a
goddamn
whiny little
annoying.
bitch in this.
I felt like that too. And then he's like trying to be like,
And they don't even have Grover doing his Grover can do magic, and they just don't have him do anything.
yeah, that's another reason.
He
I think
doesn't
there's
do
like budget
anything.
stuff.
And in the books they have him constantly munching on soda cans and stuff, and it's funny. But in here, nothing.
I really cannot remember like I was like, damn, good Grover moment. There are none, bro. Like his only
Nah.
moment is that one with Ares, I guess. But anyways,
Yeah, so
Grover
Yeah,
sucks.
no, Grover in the movie or the show's terrible.
yeah, so eventually they convince Percy that he has to go to this place where there's a lot of people like him, and his mom's like, "Okay, we're gonna take you there. Grover's gonna help us get you there." Grover's like, "I promise to make sure he gets there, or whatever." So then they go.
Yeah,
and
what
then-
are you gonna do, Grover?
We're kind of oversimplifying this. Grover finds Percy, and Percy and Grover, or Percy's mom and Grover never met, but Grover tells Percy's mom that like he was attacked at school, and like Percy's mom like started connecting all the dots and realizing that like something actually big happened, and that's why she starts saying like, "All right, we need to get you to like this summer camp thing." Like, where
That's
all
not
these
what
special
happens in
people
the
are.
show, though.
Really?
Did you watch
Yeah,
this
like
show?
I did, but I
she
don't-
invited Grover to the house. She's like, I told him to come. When he's like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Oh.
With the
I
beach
read
house.
the books. The books were so fresh in my head. I just read them this past week.
Oh well, yeah. I'm like oversimplifying it because the show is pretty simplified. That's why I keep doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
We're
Sorry.
telling you what happens in the show, which apparently is a bridge.
Yeah. So then
Yeah, she
shit starts
invites
hitting
Grover
the fan.
over.
Yeah, and basically the plan is Percy needs to go to summer camp for special kids, and
Yeah. You give us a special
yeah.
camp.
So they set out on the car and they're on their way there, and then there's like this dark cloud in the background, and then they're telling Percy all of these
Lightning and
things.
stuff starts.
Yeah,
out.
the weather's going crazy. And then they're like almost there, and then the Minotaur shows up. And this scene was good. I actually thought this part of the show was pretty good. Whenever the mythological stuff was like front and center, I was like in on it. I was like, okay, I can get with this. So then the Minotaur shows up and fucks shit up.
This was a good fight.
This was a fight that I actually thought was reasonable for him to win, unlike a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, I did too. So the Minotaur like flips their car, and they're like scattered, and they're getting out of the car and everything, and they're trying to get to like the gate or whatever. And
it's the barrier.
Yeah, his mom.
Yo, let me bring some stuff up here though. Grover doesn't do shit, and he was supposed to be the one. She's like, get him there safe. Grover didn't do shit when they were attacked by a Minotaur.
So Grover in the books got knocked out, and that's why he didn't help in this situation.
Okay, that would have.
He just like
made
watches,
more sense.
and he's. Yeah, God,
yeah, when
he's
the
so
car
annoying.
got flown, like Percy and his mom were dragging Grover towards camp in the book.
Okay.
Yeah, but so then, anyways, in the show, his mom's like, Percy, run with Grover. I'll distract it, which is dumb as shit.
Yeah, but the mom, she did that in the books too. She just wanted Percy to be safe.
Okay, I could
maybe that's
understand
true,
it in
but
the,
the way
in the
and
moment.
lure it away. That's the mom thing.
Yeah.
The way it's shown, though, in the show made it seem like her sacrifice was so pointless. Like, she did not delay it at all. They stood there and watched her delay it, so they didn't even like gain ground while she was dying. And then they came back. So like it was all just a waste.
Yeah, no, it was bad execution.
Yeah, so basically his mom tries to distract this giant Minotaur, and she like
she's like, you should be able to get some ground on it and run while I distract it. And they're like, okay, we'll stand 10 feet away and watch.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I wouldn't have ran either if that was my mom. I'd be like, whoa, why are you fighting this giant bull guy? And I probably would have been watching too, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, his mom is unsuccessful in defeating this thing. And it like crushes her, and she turns into dust and disappears. And then it sets its sights on Percy and Grover again. And so Percy's angry. Yeah, he's really angry.
He just watched his mom die.
Yeah, so he pulls a sword out of his pocket that he's never had before, and he's like, "Holy crap, where did this come from?"
He got it. No, he had it.
But he didn't know it was a sword.
Well, he didn't know it was a
Chiron
sword.
gave it to him. And what's it called?
Well, he gave him the pen. He didn't know it was a sword, though.
Yeah, so at the museum, he was given a pen, and this guy was like, "Yeah, here, take it."
No, he used it to kill Miss Dodds. It was the same sword. Because I remember I got annoyed because he didn't give the pen back. Because he was supposed to give it back after he killed Miss Dodds.
I didn't think he killed anyone.
Because now he killed the person attacking him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyways, so he runs back. He like slides on the ground, tries to hit it with the sword. The sword gets launched out of his hand, and he's like, damn, guess I'll just have to jump on it.
Yeah, and then he jumps on its back. I'm not sure.
So in the books, what happens here is that it was charging him, and he couldn't dodge left or right. Because his mom like told him before she got crushed to like dodge, like wait. Because he can only run forward pretty much. So he waited to the last second and then jumped off his head and then landed on his back.
All I'm saying is, how the hell did he rip that freaking horn out with his bare hands?
Yeah, I don't. So I think it's implied that the Minotaur smashed into a tree, which probably didn't help the horn.
They should have had it get stuck in the tree or something, then not just have him tear it out with his hand.
No, Percy did tear it out with his hands in the book. But honestly, though, Percy later on does some insane strength of feat.
Feats of strength?
Yeah, strength. Yeah, thank you. Feats of strength.
Yeah, but
so you kind of just have sometimes like the weird strength thing.
All
you
I'm
just
saying
gotta
is,
say it's a god thing.
I get it. All I'm saying is he should have done that before his mom died.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but that was adrenaline at this point is driving him.
Yeah. Anyway.
And anger.
He defeats the Minotaur and gets its horn, and then it dies. And then they move in. They go through like the barrier and get to camp.
He keeps the horn.
So then he's at camp, and I actually liked the camp stuff. It was probably like one of the more interesting parts of the show. So the next episode kind of like takes place all at camp. He's like introduced to like the world of the gods and everything, and he's told that he's a demigod. We see like the different groups. It's like their little version of Hogwarts. They each belong to each god.
Do they know who his dad is at this point?
No, they don't. He's unclaimed at this point. So there's like a house of the unclaimed, which is demigods who their parents don't want anything to do with them.
It's the Hermes cabin.
Yeah. And then there's like
And you meet
Athena,
Scar Kid.
Poseidon, and a bunch of other gods whose kids have been claimed.
It's the little big, like the Olympic 12.
Yeah.
And it follows the same order. Like each cabin is in the same position as like their thrones are on Olympus.
Okay. And so
It's a cool little detail.
he gets like trained, and they go through like these games. They got to like play capture the
Well, he meets
flag.
Scar Kid first.
Oh yeah, what's
He
that?
meets
What's that
Luke.
guy's name?
Luke Heston.
Yo,
Luke.
honestly,
Son of
that guy
Hermes.
is the best character in the whole show.
He's barely in it.
That's the sad part. He
He'll
is
come back. I
so
promise.
much cooler than Percy. Everyone's better than Grover. Definitely better than Annabeth. And that's pretty much all the characters.
Yeah.
Luke is like your big villain.
Yeah, he gets like a friendship
I'd say.
going with Luke.
He's your returning
Plot twist,
villain.
he's a villain.
Sorry.
He's the best character by far.
This is a
Like,
spoiler review.
Yeah.
I would honestly rather have a show about him because Percy's boring. Luke was cool.
That would be cool to see what Luke's up to during all of this.
Yeah. So basically they have to go and do a bunch of games. They play capture the flag and do some other things, and Percy.
One thing they didn't show is the lava rock wall they have. They have like a rock climbing wall that pours lava down.
Yeah. Anyways, they're playing Capture the Flag. Percy's like, I'm not gonna play, and he goes lays on a log or something. And then while he's laying on the log, all the bullies pull up on him, and they're like, "Hey, basically,
We're gonna bully you.
yeah, they're like, say you didn't kill the Minotaur because we want everyone to hate you." And he's like, I'm not playing. The flag's over there. Just go get it. They're like, we don't care. We're going to literally kill you. He's like, what the hell? And they attack him, and he runs away, and he fights. And then they kick his ass. And then he kicks their ass back. Eventually, he, like, defeats, what's her name, girl?
He gets, like, introduced to, like, his powers, too.
Here's-
He, like,
So when he's fighting, he gets pushed into like the river, or he gets pushed back into the river.
yeah.
That's not what happens in the show.
Yeah, he did. He gets pushed into the water.
No,
Yeah.
they're not in the fight. That's at the end of the fight. Annabeth comes up and pushes him in the water.
Then how did he beat the one
After
girl?
he already won.
He literally, like, smashed her with water.
Yeah, he was in the water when this was going down because the water gives him the energy. And then when Annabeth got there, she was like, step out. And then when he stepped out, he like nearly collapsed and she started freaking out. And then
I
right
don't
before-
think. No. What happened in the show was he was fighting her on the beach. She like cut him up a bunch, and then eventually he like pulled water from the water and like hit her with it, and that's how he beat her. But then he had a bunch of cuts over him. So then Annabeth
he
came
snapped
over.
her stick.
Yeah, that's where you're right.
Yeah.
Sebastian's right.
That's important.
Well, you wouldn't know
I'm
it from the show.
I'm just telling you what the show is.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk about the show, not the books.
Okay, well, they're important to know.
Yes, but in the show, you would have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm just telling you what I don't. I'm just telling you
Continue.
what happened in the show. So then he has a bunch of cuts on him, and then Annabeth comes over and pushes him into the water, and it like heals him. And then there's a big trident over him.
Yeah, and Poseidon claims him as his son.
No, I feel like something else happens. I know she got pushed, but I feel like he get attacked. Didn't something attack the camp?
Not something, no. Nothing attacked the camp. There's only kids there.
What the heck?
I don't think you watched the show.
No, but I'm pretty sure what happened was is that when they were fighting, Percy got cut up and he was in the water.
I mean, it was like a bunch of
And then
girls.
after
It wasn't
he
just
defeated,
one.
Annabeth noticed that his cuts were gone. So then he got cut again from something. And then she was like, go step in the water, and it healed. And then
she
the trident
pushed
was
him in the
over his
water,
head.
yeah.
Or something like that.
And he was like,
mean, it
I'm
was-
sure that she didn't just assume. There's no way she would have cut.
Well,
Like,
it was-
saw that he
he,
was bleeding
like,
and dying, and assumed to push him in the water.
wasn't-
Well, he
There's
just
no
shot a water
reason to
blast.
do
yeah, he
that.
just shot, he freaking water bended. And everybody was like, holy
yeah,
crap.
okay.
And like Annabeth's like,
Yeah.
you're a little cut up. Here, let me push you in the water. And then he's like not cut up anymore. He's literally water bending.
just
And
water
he broke
bending.
that girl's spear. And then she started screaming bloody
Okay,
murder.
yeah, you know what? I
And
see,
then
I
we moved
remember
on.
now.
And I was like, well, that spear must have
Sorry,
been important. and then
they
we never
just-
talk about
they
it
changed
again.
So much.
But yeah,
So in
I
the
assumed that something was important about that spear because that girl literally lost her mind and started screaming like a rabid animal.
Yeah,
and then
it
we
was a
never
magic
talked about
spear
it again.
That can do lightning. It was given to her by her dad, when her dad's Aries.
Yeah, see, we would have never known that because the show does not tell you that at all.
You do know that her dad is Aries later, but we never are told what the spear is.
Yeah, it's just, I guess she liked that thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was a magic item. Those are kind of rare in this universe.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it from the show. That's what I'm saying. Like, the show doesn't tell you a lot of stuff.
Which sucks. Yeah, I guess that's the problem, I guess. Is
yeah,
that
don't get mad at me for leaving stuff out, because I literally only know the show.
I don't know. I'm saying that I guess that's funny because I have the perspective of the books, so my brain kind of just fills in the gap automatically. But you guys don't have anything to be filled in.
Yeah. Anyway, in this process, somewhere along the way, he like gets a quest, and so he's told like he has to do these things and that he needs to assemble a team.
After he gets discovered, they're like, no, because before he got to camp, the lightning bolt got stolen. Zeus's like master bolt.
Yeah, they tell him that not yet though. They are about to tell him that in the show.
For a long time, everyone thought it was Percy that stole it. Well, like obviously, like the gods thought it was Percy because of his like father.
You would have never thought that from the show. Like there was no doubt that he did.
Yeah, they say it
well
pretty
once
early
they say
on.
it.
Yeah.
So the reason that's when he gets the quest. That's why they assign it to him is because now he has to like clear his name pretty much.
Yeah, well in the show that's not how it was set up. Yeah.
From what I could tell, they all knew he didn't do it, and then when Poseidon gave him the mission, they're like, "Your mission is to prove." Like same thing, prove that you didn't do it, but we already know that you're basically just proving it to.
No, all the people
Zeus.
knew, but none of the gods knew. Like the gods didn't believe that Percy didn't take it, but like Chiron and stuff knew. Obviously, he couldn't take it. He didn't even know who he was until yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least in the show, Poseidon knew he didn't take it.
Yeah. And there was some point in the show too where they said like one of your friends will betray you or something. And so that like influences the way he picks his team. He picks Annabeth because
and that he would fail the quest.
Yeah. He picks
that he would fail to save what's most important.
He picks Annabeth because he thinks they're not friends, so she'll never betray him anyway. And then he picks Grover because I guess he already betrayed him, so what are the chances he does it twice? I wasn't really sure why he picked Grover.
No, he picked Grover because he's like, there's definitely no way Grover will betray me.
Even though he already did.
But that wasn't a real betrayal. That was a betrayal to help him.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But
honestly, even though it ended up working out for him, dumb move picking Grover. Like, if they said one of your friends is going to betray you, you just pick, like, the Annabeth one, that was a good pick. Unfortunate, they ended up being friends, but the Grover was a bad pick if you're, like, anticipating a friend to betray you.
Yeah.
So, in the way they explain the rationale behind Percy picking it in the books is he wanted Annabeth because she was like the smartest one in camp, and then he brought Grover because Grover was kind of useful, and it's like, and Grover's actually both their best friends.
Yeah.
Well, the way it was explained in the show, he picked her because he thought that the not get what matters most, he meant they would fail the quest. And he's like, she'll sacrifice me to win the quest, so she's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I guess isn't terrible thinking.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through this a little faster because this is taking forever.
Bert stops us every 2 seconds.
Yeah, because he forgets.
This is like the one time I actually know a topic. Let me talk, damn it.
Yeah, but you're just throwing in things that people that haven't read the books have no idea.
But if they watch the show, then now they have more context for things.
Yeah, but it's confusing.
Okay, let's cover the big points, right?
So then... Okay, you go.
Okay, so sent on a mission. Those are the 2 people he picked. They head out. They get on a bus.
Yeah, so...
Because explained they can't go in planes because Zeus is pissed at them. Bad move to
Zeus
be in a
will
plane.
Kill Percy.
Yeah, so they don't want to go in the
then
sky.
He's like, yeah, good point.
That is canonical.
Okay. And then...
this adds up. I'm okay with this reason.
This adds up.
Yeah. And so they're on the bus and they're traveling across the country to get to wherever, I forget where they got to go. But I think Vegas.
You need to get to... Yeah.
Yeah, it's Vegas.
Who cares?
But
Anyways.
The Lotus Casino in Vegas.
Yeah. And so their bus starts getting they see his math teacher
Attacked.
again, and she's like coming for him. But now she
respawns.
Yeah, but she brought her friends, and
They're her sisters.
yeah, they're like furies, like you said. And then they attack the bus and they blow the back out of the bus and it explodes and they jump out a window.
What I was saying was wild. Like, I get you explained it, kind of, but they should have just had someone be like, "What the hell, kids?" or something like that. Because no way that a bus blows up and everyone just like, okay, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, and so they're on the run now because the furies are chasing them. And they get to this garden gnome.
Looks like Natara.
Yeah, they get to this garden gnome emporium. And turns out Medusa lives there. And there's like stone statues everywhere. And it's like pretty obvious once you get there. You're like, oh, this is definitely Medusa. And so I was like, I was so hyped. I was like, wow, I love Medusa. She's like one of my favorite mythological characters from like the Greek mythos or whatever. And it's so disappointing. She like I think you see her snakes like twice maybe for like 20 seconds.
You know what sucks though is I thought it started out really good with the other creature being scared of her.
Yeah, so they get to Medusa's house and the Furies like refuse to follow them in there, and they're like, "Well, would you rather get torn apart by the Furies or take your chances with Medusa?" And they decide to go with Medusa.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Can I say one thing?
Okay.
After you finish.
No, go.
I was just gonna say one thing I didn't enjoy about Medusa was the reveal right off the bat, because the kids going in to her emporium didn't actually know it was hers, and as they were walking around, Grover saw like his uncle Fernand, and then like Annabeth was on alert because of the relationship between Medusa and her mom, and it was just like it was more built up versus just here's Medusa.
So
like you kind of had to piece the lore together.
I guess that makes sense, but I actually, for the beginning parts of it, really liked the Medusa stuff. I felt like it was good suspenseful stuff because it was like, these other crazy creatures are scared of her. This is pretty cool, and they're like talking to her.
Yeah, I liked that too. And then I was like, oh man, we're about to have like an epic Medusa battle at some point. This is gonna be sick. We're gonna get to see her turn stuff into stone and do all kinds of cool stuff. None of that ever happens.
Yeah, I was trying to say something.
Go.
So, what I think was stupid as hell was there was like this whole backflash story thing, and like at the beginning where his mom's telling about how like some of these things that look like monsters aren't monsters, and it was like this whole subplot, and they're like, Medusa's not really a monster, she's actually a nice person. But then it turns out his mom lied to him. Medusa's a piece of shit. So
yeah, I don't know why they try to say Medusa wasn't evil. She is.
Yeah, like why did they even have that subplot? I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, I guess. Like Medusa's not as bad as you would think. But then it's like, nope, just kidding. That was pointless. We wasted your time.
They try to make her like a victim and be like her situation isn't her fault and she's actually pretty nice and whatever. Yeah, but then all of a sudden they're like, she's bad.
Yeah, it's like pick one, you know? It's not that I mind either one. It can be either one. I'm okay with her either being good or bad, but I didn't like that. Like, basically his mom fucking lied to him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it almost got them killed.
Yeah. But Medusa ends up like turning on them, and then they have to run, and then, like you said, what's his name? The goat guy.
Ferdinand?
No, the goat kid.
No, Ferdinand.
Oh, yeah, Ferdinand. What the hell? Grover.
Uncle Ferdinand.
Yeah, Grover finds his stoned uncle. Or, not stoned, but his uncle has been turned into stone. And then that part was kind of cool. I thought that was funny.
And they bring up how he was he was a seeker looking for the lost god Pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never actually explain what a seeker is or who Pan is or anything like that.
Seekers are satyrs that explore the world looking for Pan, and Pan is the god of the wild and like stuff like that and nature.
Yeah,
I think they might have briefly mentioned that.
Yeah, I think they did.
But he disappeared with the rising humanity for pretty obvious reasons, like industrialization and stuff.
Yeah,
I get it now.
But then,
basically, it's a subplot that no one cares about because the show doesn't make it important.
Yeah, but
yeah, it comes back up in the second book.
Yeah.
So season, I guess.
But then Percy and Medusa fight, and Percy cuts her head off, and then he puts it in a box. And
Ships it to
Disappointing.
Olympus.
Easily defeated Medusa.
yeah, well, he uses the head too, actually, but you never see him do it. He uses it and turns the Fury into stone, which was cool, I guess.
Well, they also
but
take
she was
her
still
out by
outside.
Yeah,
turning her invisible first, actually, so they can look at her, I guess. Doesn't make sense. You could have just kept your eyes closed, same thing, but whatever.
yeah,
So this part is actually pretty cool when he sent it off to Olympus.
I did think
He
that
was
was
like-
cool.
Percy was like kind of pissed off that he was having to do this. He was like, I'm going to screw with them. So he
Dumb
sent it
ass
off.
move, though.
It was kind of like a big middle finger.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Which I kind of like how they did do that. Like they did a good job of the rebellious side of Percy.
yeah,
Though they did overdo it, I think, at one point. But that's okay.
yeah. So now, like, these next 3 episodes all blur together for me because they're all basically the same. It's like,
Well,
get to this city,
I
fight
think
this
they-
monster, get to this city, fight this god, get to this city, fight this god, and then you're basically in the same
that's
spot.
one problem. There's a reason why the show feels very this event, then this event, then this event.
Yeah, that's how
And
it
it's
felt.
because the pearls that they need to get out of hell,
Yeah,
or whatever they want to call it. Though originally those pearls were in each of the locations, and that's why they were going to each location. Like the movie,
yeah,
that's how like the movie did. Like the movie was how the pearls were originally laid out, and that's kind of why they were being driven to these locations, which I think makes more sense versus how the show did it.
yeah,
The show has a very if-then format.
yeah. And he just gets sent on like fetch quests, basically. Like, I think it's Ares shows up and he's like, "Hey, get my shield back." He's like, "All right, I'll go get your shield back."
It's like one of those things in games where someone's like, I need you to get me a gold coin. And then you go to someone with a gold coin. They're like, I'll give you this gold coin if you give me a silver coin. Then you go to someone with a silver coin. I'll give you this silver coin if you give me the bronze coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I wanted to bring something up. At the end of the Medusa episode, there was the most cringe thing I've ever seen in like a long time where Grover started singing this stupid ass song.
oh yeah, I don't know what that was about. That threw me off. I was like, huh?
He was
Yeah, I
like,
don't
guys, we
even
need to
know.
stop fighting. And then he starts singing a song.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's like, what the fuck?
So
I don't
that's
know,
them
man.
trying to like reference the fact that Grover like does music.
Yeah,
to,
they
like,
did a
help,
horrible
like,
job with
combat
that
and
then.
stuff. But that is not how it works. Like he has a like pair of pipes, or like he has reed pipes that he plays into, and like makes stuff happen, and like makes
Yeah,
plants grow out of the ground, or can summon animals, or cause
What
like
thing
a-
is, I absolutely hate his entire party. I don't like Grover, I don't like Annabeth, and I don't like him. So it's so annoying to watch.
Yeah.
yeah, Annabeth isn't as cool either.
Yeah, they go. I thought this was going to be super cool. They had like the mother of all monsters show up, but nothing happens. She sends a lion after
Yeah.
him.
Another thing that got very toned down was that fight scene. Because there was a whole fight scene going down between Percy and a Chihuahua, which is what it was in the books.
Oh, what?
Or it started off as a Chihuahua, and then it morphed into like this heinous monster.
You mean a Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
I thought you said something different.
So then, I probably said it wrong, but then Percy ended up jumping out of that hole solely to save the people that were left up top, because he was like, this fight's getting out of
See,
hand.
that would have
I'm
made
poisoned.
more
Yeah,
sense.
I
I was
don't
like,
think that happens.
Yeah,
He was like, I'm poisoned. I have no sword. I'm dying. And these people are still up here. This
Are you
monster's
guys talking
after
about
me.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
we skipped ahead so far.
yeah. I mean,
So then
St. Louis
that's
was
why he
right
jumped
after Medusa.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, but there was
just
like
showed
this-
up there.
There's like this scene between that I actually did like, where
Oh.
he like talked to them about what the Oracle told him, which I didn't expect. Usually, like when there's conflict, they just hide it to the end and cause problems by not talking to each other. But he actually told them like, someone's gonna betray me, failed to save most, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
No, yeah, that is cool.
And they actually,
That was like the point where they stopped being awful and only started being like kind of annoying.
yeah. Yeah, but
yeah, so
the
then,
mother of all
back to
monsters,
that
that was like
fight.
such a missed opportunity. You could have done so much more with that, and they didn't do anything. It was just basically a grandma that walked slowly towards them and sent her
Yeah.
dog after them.
And what kind of
So
stinks
slowly.
too was that up to this point, Percy was questioning like the whole "Am I actually a demigod?" thing,
Yeah.
and the Mother of Monsters like even called them out and was like, "You have no faith in your father," and stuff like that. So then Percy threw up a prayer and then jumped down.
Yeah. There was one cool thing I did like that they mentioned because Percy sent the head of Medusa back. And I guess it pissed off Athena. And Athena is the mother of Annabeth. And so she was pissed and basically like stopped like responding to Annabeth and left her out to dry, which I like that relationship.
Because Athena and Poseidon don't get along.
Yeah.
Because of an old rivalry.
But then
I think
they,
it was
like-
Athens. That's what they say.
Yeah,
Sorry.
something
Then
like that.
they like went into the arch to try and heal him of poison.
Yeah, but surprisingly to them, there was no water in the arch.
No, it was they already tried the water. It didn't work. They went in the arch for Athena, and that's when they found out that she didn't want to help because of the head thing.
Yeah. But then he jumps out and lands in a
Also-
river somehow.
Well, no,
He gets pulled into the river.
the monster lady like blasts a hole in the arch, and then he like attempts to fight her. Literally doesn't hit her once, not even a threat. Gets launched through a hole in the bottom. He's barely hanging on, falls. And I don't know,
then-
like every single fight he's in, he just like shows nothing except for the Minotaur one. There is nothing that shows that he's good at anything.
Like a bravery or there's no heroism.
Like he just gets his ass beat in every single fight except for the Minotaur one and one other one. So it's like, okay, you beat a Minotaur, you got your ass beat, and then you beat a god. Like it just makes no
Yeah.
sense.
He did do something heroic. He locked the door and didn't let his friends in there to fight the thing, and he was basically sacrificing himself for them, which was heroic.
Yeah, I mean that's heroic and cool and all, but I'm just saying as far as his fighting proficiency, there is no displays of that after the Minotaur.
Yeah. And then you go on to the next episode, and it's basically, like we said, a fetch quest. He meets Ares, who's super boring.
So actually, this is kind of important. When he fell into the river, his dad sent like this lady to talk to Percy, and in that conversation, she gave him pearls.
that
Right? Is this when that happened?
No, that didn't happen there.
No, that's later.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
but he met this lady, and like basically, this lady was like, "Your father believes in you. Get back up and keep going."
Yeah, they didn't
Well,
do that
she
in the
tells
show.
him at this point when he falls in the water, she tells him to meet his dad somewhere.
Santa Monica Beach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, they meet Ares, and he's just a normal biker guy. Doesn't look like Ares
The
at
one
all.
thing that they didn't do in the show, which I really wish they would have, is it would have been cool to see, was that Ares has this effect when he's around people that he like angers them. It's like a passive ability of his, and they didn't really show that.
Yeah, there's
Like they
none of
didn't
that.
show like Percy or Annabeth like get angry or having to watch what they were saying
Yeah, so
because they
Ares
noticed
was
that they
the
were
most
getting angry.
disappointing thing of the whole thing for
me
me.
too.
Yeah, me three.
But they go and they get his shield. Percy gets turned into gold for 3 seconds and then isn't.
Yeah, and they think I care about this sacrifice, but I hate these kids. So I'm
That
like,
was
yes,
so
he's
stupid.
gold.
They shouldn't have done that. That was so dumb. This kid sacrificed
The
himself.
Midas touch.
Yeah, he sacrificed himself already once and nothing happened. So you're gonna do it again and make nothing happen from it?
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
So this episode,
Especially it's like
I thought was the worst part of the show, and it was like episode 5. So we're like halfway, and it was like at the worst point was right here. And then it does pick up a little bit. So then the next one is when they finally get to Vegas and they're like forgetting stuff. You remember that?
Yeah, that's actually
so-
the only part I remember from the movies.
yeah, the book or the show did a terrible job
I
of the
agree.
Lotus Casino. The Lotus
I agree.
Casino in the movies is it's actually perfect.
Yeah, because they're actually doing shit, and like in the show, they're like it's just so unbelievable that like they were
They
there
just
for
had a
3
conversation
days.
and left.
Yeah, and they're like, that was 3 days. It's like you didn't piss or eat for 3 days. Like in the movie, they were doing shit for 3 days, and they were just liked being there, so they ended up staying 3 days without meaning
So
to.
actually, one thing I want to bring up was that in the books they were there for 3 days, yes, but when Percy was like when they were still there, the reason why they like woke up, so to speak, was because Percy's dad actually was like wake up, like look around. So then that like made Percy like start observing his surroundings, and he noticed some dude playing some game from like the 80s or 70s. And he went up to talk to him, and he asked about like, "Oh, did you see that movie on DVD?" And the dude was like, "The fuck's a DVD?" And that was kind of like the switch in Percy's brain to be like, "We need to get the fuck out."
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, that was super not played out well. But
I feel like that's much better in the book.
yeah, and I don't know why they were there still. Like, I'm not sure. I forgot why.
They were talking
Because the
to
guy
Hermes,
there
Luke's
knew how to
dad.
get to the underworld.
Yeah, Hermes,
Yeah, you're right.
god of travel, knew how to get to the underworld.
Turns out it's a taxi to a bed shop.
Yeah, which was kind of stupid because at least in the
Kinda.
in the books and even in the movies, the reason they were at the casino was because the pearl was there and they were looking for it, and the pearl was on the roulette table, and like it was the ball that was spinning around.
That would have been cool.
And that's why they were there looking around versus a conversation and leaving. And that took 3 days, apparently.
I also do not believe a 12-year-old, 13-year-old would drive as bad as he did.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Like, he was literally just like turning. He's like, oh, I slightly touched this wall. Let me turn the wheel 3 full rotations to the left.
Like, dude, like yeah. He's never
And why
played
are
a
you
video game.
Why are you hitting the gas, then hitting the brake? Like, I would get it if you were just going too fast. Like, you didn't.
If you lost control.
God. Yeah, like that kids are not as stupid as they think, you know? Like, a kid could probably not drive efficiently or like through a
You can go
course or
forward
anything.
and not run it and go right or something.
Yeah,
Go
like I
straight.
would understand if he accidentally put it in reverse one time, but he literally went back and forth into a wall like 3 times.
Maybe it was manual.
Too cringe right there. Okay, if it was manual, maybe. Too cringe that moment for me.
See, these maybe I said those 3 episodes blend together, but fuck, maybe it's like 1, 2, 3, maybe
then-
know
4.
where the distinction is.
Yeah.
Then this literal god, he's like, I have this magical traveling car, but it's only gonna work if you get on the fucking highway. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that how it works?
Anyway, let's fast forward now. We're getting towards the end. They make it to the beach, and then I forgot completely what they did once they were at the beach.
No, didn't they make it to the bed store?
Oh yeah,
no, they made it to
that's
the
how they
beach.
get to the beach.
Or was it the bed store?
Yeah, you're right. They make it to the
So
bed
they make
store.
it to the bed store.
No. They take the taxi straight to the beach.
Oh, wait, then how do they...
Yeah, then how do
The
they?
taxi teleports
I don't
him
remember this
onto the
part.
beach. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into the... Well, okay.
Oh, he
quick
walks
thing.
into the water,
When they
doesn't
get
he?
to the taxi, there's a note there, and that says where the underworld entrance is, because, like, turns out he actually wanted them to take his taxi.
Mm-hmm.
So that note tells them, hey, go to this bed shop. It'll get you to the underworld. When they get in the car and finally get to the road, because for some reason he needs to be on the road to travel, it teleports him to the beach. He goes into the water to meet his dad. They're like, hey, you're late. Your dad's not here. Here's some pearls. This will get you out of the underworld.
Okay. So yeah, the same lady that showed up in the river showed up in the beach. She was like, your dad's in
the
a war
water.
because you took 3 days in this place, and now he's in full war mode. Take these pearls to get out of the underworld. Because everything, or she said that everything that once belonged to the sea returns to the sea, while handing him pearls, and she was like, smash them or throw them on the floor or something.
Yeah, so she gives him pearls, and they go back, teleport to the
Key important thing
place.
here was that she gave enough pearls for everyone, including,
4.
surprise, surprise, Percy's mom.
Yeah. So then they get to the bed place. Another very lame, disappointing part where a god is played to be an absolute fool.
Was that a god? I don't
remember what he was.
think it
but
was.
He's at least
It
It
supposed
was
to
somebody.
be.
God.
It was somebody's
He was the
like,
son of Poseidon.
Yeah, it was somebody's brother, cousin, or something.
He was Percy's brother, his half brother.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, well, either way, this guy was played for an absolute fool and pathetic.
That was kind of cool. It was different, but I didn't really like the execution. The idea was there.
Yeah, he's like, oh, lay one of these beds. They're comfortable. It's clearly a trap. So then they just go push. Guy falls in the bed, traps himself. They're like, thanks, bruh. And then they use
Leave
his
him.
entrance to the underworld.
Yep.
And then they're in the underworld, and it actually looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
I was one complaint, not even a complaint, was Hades' palace was supposed to be like a replication of Olympus, which is supposed to like go into show that Hades is kind of lonely, being trapped in the underworld all by himself.
Oh,
I mean,
that
at
would've
this
been
point, they
cooler.
haven't in the show. They hadn't even showed us Olympus yet, so it's not like we would have known.
Yeah, but Annabeth makes a comment saying that it looks just like Olympus.
Okay, so this place looks pretty cool, and then they see a bunch of people queuing up to die, I guess, or get into the gate.
I liked
This part I thought was. This
They're
is just
waiting
a
for judgment.
Yeah, slight side thing here. I know this is a very small nitpick, but Percy's an asshole here. He's like cutting through this line,
Yeah,
but like
really
in the
New
middle
Yorker
of
doesn't
it.
wait
Why
in
not
line.
just walk? But he like cut through the middle of it, bro. Just walk around the side. Why you gotta push
Yeah.
people? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That just pissed me off. But
I
anyways,
don't remember what they did in the books.
he gets to the front of the line. They're like, "You're not dead," and he's like, "Yeah, well, we're all dying, so let me in." And then they summon Cerberus on him.
That was cool.
Yeah, so one thing that was kind of played out differently here was Cerberus was kind of threatening. You know? Like it started like chasing them.
Yeah, he was
They were
definitely.
running
He wasn't
away.
kind of threatening. He was going to eat them.
He was
He
threatening.
literally swallowed Grover.
So, yeah, he did. But in the
I was like, thank
the
God,
book-
finally.
So when they ended up, I think a lot of it played similarly, but the way it ended was they just realized that Cerberus was a dog that was looking for someone to play with, and that like Hades doesn't play with his dog,
I thought that was
And that's
actually
how-
cool. I didn't mind that.
and so that's like how like they got through because Cerberus ended up quote unquote letting them through when they were playing with him.
Yeah, I liked that whole Cerberus part. He was like super cool and intimidating and scary, and then he ended up just being a dog.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
supposed
it
to
was
show
alright.
that monsters aren't entirely monsters
Yeah.
just because
See, if
they're
they
like,
would've-
mythical.
This is
doesn't mean
this
they're
is where they
villainous.
should have. This is where they should have brought the flashback of the mom, not the freaking Medusa thing.
Yeah, if they would have
Yeah.
stuck with this theme of monsters aren't always monsters or whatever, like however you want to phrase it, I liked that better. And then just lean into that with like all of the Greek myths that you can, like just give more of that. That would have
Well,
been cool.
A lot
and
of
then
the
make
times
some
they
of them
aren't
real
nice,
monsters, you
especially
know?
right now.
Like you had the Furies, they were monsters and they were freaking scary and killing people. So like, and then the mother of all monsters, like that would have been cool. Like, I don't know. I just wish there was more to
Yeah,
like
but-
the Greek stuff.
It felt like it was out of place, like the whole mom thing with Medusa and not with Cerberus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should have leaned
Yeah.
into it
No, you're right.
and actually acknowledged what the mom was saying and made that true instead of her like making it seem like she just lied to him.
Yeah, if it was here, it would have been done way better. But eventually, they get over the wall with the flying shoes that Scarboy gave them.
Luke.
Oh, this is important. So when Grover tries to use the shoes, doesn't he get when he gets pulled off, right?
I think they're just, once they
I
get
don't remember
over
exactly how that happens.
that's a bit later. So
Okay.
they get
continue
up
then.
the wall with the flying shoes, and then Cerberus like jumps up and leaves Annabeth at the top, I guess. Not sure if it was on purpose or accident, but whatever. So then they're all at the top, and then Grover's like, "Oh no, my pearl! The dog swallowed it. We're down a pearl. This sucks."
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "Let's just ignore that." And then they keep
I
walking.
mean, to be fair, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you couldn't
in
really
that
do
moment?
anything about it.
They're like, let's, yeah,
They'll just
I
figure it
guess.
out
They're
later.
like, but what was weird was like, they're like, let's just ignore that. But then in the very next scene, they're like, okay, we got to talk about it. It's like,
Yeah, that's true. Bad transition right there.
Yeah,
like maybe if there was a scene between it, it would have made sense. But
yeah,
they're like, let's
that's
ignore
not good
it.
pacing.
Scene change. All right, guys, time to talk about it.
Yeah.
Then
The pacing is messed up in this show. Actually,
good move
now that
by
I'm thinking
Percy,
about
though.
it.
I think here that I actually liked. And by Grover, he doesn't do many things I like, but he did here. He's like, we don't have enough pearls. It's my fault. I'll stay behind. And Percy's like, no, you guys can leave with my mom. Good moves there. I liked that.
yeah.
Yeah, Grover originally offered to sacrifice himself, and his whole argument was that I'm your protector. Like, it's my duty to, like, I should be the one to stay because you're more important.
That would have been a redeeming Grover moment.
That was kind of like, because Grover, and you know what happened with, like, Luke and Annabeth and I can't think
Kind
of
of.
tree
They
girl?
only like briefly mention it.
the tree, Talia, I think they say it.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
They just mention it, though.
Grover was the protector that was escorting the three of them to camp, and they got attacked by Cyclopses.
Yeah, they
And
did say that.
Talia was she stood behind to like give them time to run, but really it was Grover that was supposed to be the distraction, and he got
failed.
like punished. Like the Council of Elders or whatever they call it, like they got mad at him, and Percy was like his second chance.
Yeah, and he failed that.
Yeah,
too.
I don't think that part is ever said. They just say that he failed the first thing, or not even that he failed, just that it didn't go well. It's not like specifically blamed on him or anything in the show.
No, he does say it in the show. I'm pretty sure. I think Grover actually says it. He's like, I was supposed to be her protector.
He feels guilty about it.
Yeah, or at least he says it that he feels bad. Maybe he doesn't say that he was the protector, but he says that he should have done something.
Yeah. So, anyways, then they're walking through like some regret forest or something, and Annabeth gets caught on the leg. She has some regrets.
It's the different like afterlives. There's like the fields of punishment, which is where you're doomed to live.
Really need to know those.
Then there's like a heaven, and then there's like a middle ground. They're walking in the one where you're doomed forever.
Yeah, so Annabeth gets grabbed because she has some regret that will never be told. We still don't know by the end of the show. And then she's like, I don't think they say in the show. They might say in the book.
Yeah, I don't think they say it either.
So she gets grabbed, and they're like, oh no, you're stuck. We can't get you out.
She has regret over Talia's death.
Okay.
I guess that's implied,
you didn't have to tell me
she
that.
She was involved. She didn't help either.
Maybe it'll come up in season 2.
They said it happened in season 1.
But it's not said.
I think it's just implied. Because she obviously does feel bad about it. It's like her best friend.
I guess. So anyways, then she is like, I have the pearl. Don't worry. I'll just use the pearl. And just something's chasing them. I don't even remember what. But she's like, I'll let it come close and like I'll distract it for a little. Same situation.
Oh, it was Cerberus coming back.
Okay, well, anyway, same situation. They go 10 feet away and watch her distract it so that it's actually pointless. And then she pearls away, and they're like, good, she made it. So then they continue forward into like a deserty area with a big hole. And I don't remember what they're talking about, but they're talking about something, and then all of a sudden Grover, he's like, Grover, why are you like running away from me? He's like, I can't stop. And he starts getting like dragged into this big hole.
Yeah,
I think this is what you're talking
flapping
about.
Their wings and taking off. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it's the shoes.
Yeah, his shoes start trying to drag him into this big pit, which later is revealed to be the pit like to Tartarus, which is where even the gods are afraid to go.
Yeah.
Like it's where it's where quite Kronos, their dad, the big bad, was thrown.
The big daddy.
That's a bad place to be. No one even like the gods are afraid to go there. So like it's a big deal.
So then Percy grabs him. Eventually the shoes fly off his feet, and they're like, damn, that was close. Anyways, let's keep going. Then they get to the castle, I think, after that.
Yeah, so I guess one thing we kind of forgot to mention was that up until now, every night or most nights, Percy would be having dreams of this guy being like, come join me, and like whatever.
Yes.
And he had that same feeling when he was near the pit. So whoever was in that pit was in his dreams, pretty much, is what it's connected to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so anyways, he goes into the castle, goes to, what's his name, Hades. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, actually, when he saves Grover, he falls over, and Grover's like, what the hell's in your bag? Turns out he has the bolt. They're like, what the hell, how do you have the bolt? And then he's like, this isn't my bag, this is Ares' bag. Ares gave us the bolt. He wanted us to deliver it to Hades. What an asshole, he's working against us. Then they go into the castle, they talk to Hades, and he's like, I want my mom, and I'm not giving you the bolt. And Hades is like, what? I don't want the bolt. I want my helmet.
I want my hat.
Yeah. All these guys just misplace all of their things, basically.
This is very commonplace. You learn very quickly that this family of like gods is very dysfunctional, and everyone's pretty stupid.
Yeah, they're very stupid. But
so then he's like, that's when Percy pieces together what Bert was saying. Holy shit, Kronos is in there. girl from the beginning that I broke the
Yeah.
spear of, she's the one who stole the bolt originally, gave it to Hades. Hades gave it to me. And
Or Ares.
yeah, sorry, Ares gave it to me.
He was her dad. So he was like, it's perfect.
And they
then the
want to get it
shoes-
to Kronos.
Yeah, and that's what the shoes were designed to do.
Yeah,
Pull
well,
them in
that's
the
not
pit.
revealed until much later.
Well, the shoes went down the pit.
Yeah, but that's not
Oh,
revealed
yeah, up until now
till
they
later.
think it's for Hades. That's right.
No, so then he's like, who would it be for then? Kronos. And then Hades is like, whoa, Kronos. Okay, give me the bolt then. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, I want this now. If there's
And
a
then
war against
Percy's like-
Kronos, I need this.
Percy goes, no, I'll get you the helmet. You give me my mom. Then we're good. And then him and Grover pearl out of there.
How did Grover get a pearl?
He gave him the one for his mom since they're coming back
since
for
they're-
it later.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah. We're almost done.
So then they're on the beach with Annabeth. Ares shows up. Ares is like, teehee,
I'm gonna
get
kill
ready
you
to
now.
get fucked.
Yeah.
Then you finally get a flashback in episode like 7 showing that turns out Percy did actually learn how to fight. We just never knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
This
sword
was the-
training by Luke.
Most anticlimactic boss fight ever.
This was so
Yeah.
underplayed in the show. It's a crime, honestly.
This was terrible. This was so disappointing. I'm like,
after we explain it, I want to just briefly describe how they say it in the books.
I just couldn't believe that he could even. I feel like Percy should stand no chance against Ares unless it's specifically Poseidon powers that are winning it for him.
Yeah,
you know?
and I wanted
Not
to see
in a
Ares
sword
do
fight.
some Ares stuff. Like, he didn't get...
So-
he fought him in a biker outfit.
Dude, you guys need to read the book.
He fought him in a biker outfit. He looked like a middle-aged man going through a midlife crisis, and he just had like a sword. Like, it wasn't even a cool-looking sword either. Like, get a shield, like put on some armor, get some spikes. If you want to do like the biker thing,
Yeah,
like ride your flaming motorcycle into the fight or something, that would have been sick. But they didn't do any
There
of that.
was a whole quest where they got him a shield that he doesn't use.
So one thing I will say real quick is, like, when the gods are fighting, most of the time they don't really use like flashy armor and stuff. And then a lot of this boils down to them being overconfident and thinking, I don't need to wear armor against a demigod. Which explains that.
that I
Secondly,
can understand.
in the books, like before they actually start fighting, like Ares like is able to summon like boars or war pigs, because that's like his spirit animal.
That would have been cool.
So for a while, he throws them at Percy, and then when the cops show up, he kind of gets annoyed at them and he's like, "This is a private matter. Leave us alone." And he throws up a wall of fire.
See,
keep the
I wanted to
cops
see some
separated and
fire.
starts
I wanted to see
exploding
some
cop cars.
Yeah, could have been
So
way
then-
more like grand in scale.
Wait, so if he does that, what do the police see?
So the police saw him holding a shotgun, and
Yeah, but the wall of fire, how does that stop them?
explosions.
And
They just said it was explosions. So then I think they said that the police were just like hiding. But a lot of it too, you kind of I actually don't think they explicitly say. It was even Percy
Okay.
was like, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure what they're seeing right now, but he was more focused on the fight.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But
So then-
the point is, in the show, he does 0 powers. He
Yeah.
literally just swings a sword a couple of times.
Explain the whole fight, because there's like it's so downplayed.
That was basically
That's
the whole
it.
fight. Like, they swing
So
a
this
couple
is what-
times and then
he
it's
runs
over.
up. He runs up to him. He swings a couple times. Ares blocks it. Then Ares picks him up and throws him back. So then he water bends to knock Ares over.
And then stabs
And
him in
then
the ankle.
while Ares is knocked over, he gives him a little slice and he goes, "I win."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So,
much how it ended.
Before they started fighting, the deal is that if Percy made Ares bleed, Ares would leave them alone and leave the lightning bolt in the
it's
helmet.
the same thing in the show.
Yeah. So, in the way the fight played off was they were going back and forth for a while, but for a while it became very apparent that Ares was just toying with like Percy. So then Percy was like, "I'm not going to win this with brute force. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to overpower this god."
Yeah, see, that was
So
not
then he thought
explained
back
well
to
enough.
a thing where the Annabeth or Athena said, where even strength has to heed to wisdom sometimes. So then Percy was like, all right, I gotta like look around where I am. And he was like, oh shit, I'm on the beach. And like instinctively he knew the tide was coming in because of just like that's just his power. And so he was
not only at least in the show, they were actually on the beach that his beach house was on.
Yeah, which was kind of weird. But anyways, when they were fighting, Percy was like, all right, I have an idea. So then he started like willing the tide to stay back and where it was. So he was holding back the tide pretty much while fighting Ares, causing this huge like gap to basically cause like the shore to regress, like the shoreline.
Yeah, I get it.
So then
he would like lead him into it
Ares
and then hit him with the water.
Yeah, he baited him into the water and then released the tide, and that's what smashed him in.
Yeah, see, that would have
And
been
then
way
when he
cool.
was down on the floor, Percy ran up and like did a cool like one maneuver, stab in the ankle, like slide by sort of thing.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's how it ended.
Yeah.
And then he cursed him. Percy got cursed with like, Ares was like, I curse you whenever you need this weapon the most, it'll fail you or something.
That doesn't happen. He just said you made an enemy in the show.
Book this actually was kind of important because Ares like cursed Percy, and he was like, when you need it most, your sword will fail you. And that was it.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't happen. The way the show made it seem is that Percy is just stronger than Ares, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah, no, it's...
And Ares doesn't like getting wet.
I think it's... Yeah.
So, anyways, let's speed this up.
We're almost done.
They go back to camp.
What else?
So he gets the helmet. The Furies were overhead watching them fight. He comes down, collects it. Then they have to beeline it to New York. Right?
I just remember them going back to camp.
No, so at this point, yes, he gets the helmet. They give the helmet away. Grover and Annabeth go back to the camp, and Percy goes to Olympus.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in Manhattan.
Yeah.
In the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just takes an elevator to the gods. Stupid.
Then he goes to Zeus's throne room.
Yeah, he just walks through, I guess, because no one cares.
Yeah.
And
meets a couple
Zeus
other
almost
midlife
kills him.
crisis men.
hands the bolt to
Zeus.
what's that? Yeah, but what's his name in Destiny? He passed away
Zavala?
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. He was awesome. He was also in John Wick.
Yeah. So he gives it to Zeus. Zeus is like, and then he tells Zeus, "Hey, it's Kronos is coming back." Zeus is like,
"I'm gonna kill
thanks.
you."
No, he says,
he says something that almost makes him die, and then his dad saves him.
Yeah, I was trying to say that.
Okay.
Percy tells him what's going to happen to or what's happening with Kronos, and then Zeus is like, "Thanks, you can leave now." Percy's like, "What? You don't care?" He's like, "I do care. That's why I'm letting you leave." And he's like, "No, but you got to do something. You got to stop this war between you and Poseidon." And he's like, "No." And then that's when he's like, "All right, I'm just going to kill you. You're annoying me." Then Poseidon shows up and he's like, "Hey, don't kill my son and I'll surrender this war." And then they're like, "Bet."
No, he
then
immediately surrenders. He doesn't even open with that. He grabs his arm and he's like, "I surrender."
Well,
Save
he
my
says,
son.
"I surrender if you don't fuck with my son."
Oh.
Then then he's like, "All right, bet." So the war is now over. He's like, "We'll gather the gods. I'll tell them how I absolutely destroyed you, embarrassingly destroyed you. You're basically a weak piece of shit, and I'm a god. So awesome.
I'm the king
And
of
then
gods.
We'll figure this stuff out with the rest of the homies." And then he's like, "Cool." Then he leaves. Zeus leaves,
He
and
talks
then
with his dad briefly.
Poseidon turns around to talk to Percy. Percy's like, "Do you ever like dream about mom or something like that?" And then he looks kind of sad, like he's gonna cry, and then he goes, "Bye."
In the books, he called his mom a queen. He was like, "Percy, your mom was a queen among women. I haven't had I've never seen a woman like her in 2,000 years or something like that."
And believe me,
so he's a simp.
believe me, I've tried.
What a simp. Anyway, so yeah, then he goes back to camp, I think.
Yeah. So then he heads his back to camp.
And everybody's
He
celebrating, and then he realizes Luke is not around here. And he's like,
Well, he's
"Where's
like,
Luke?"
why is bitch girl still here, the one that caused everything? And then Luke's like, oh, we just didn't want to tell it into your bag. Don't worry. We'll go tell now. Come with me. And then he like leads Percy into the forest. And then like when they're there, Percy's like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
So
And then Luke reveals that he was the one that actually stole it. Plot twist.
He betrays Percy.
Yeah, he was the traitor all along.
He poisons him, leaves him to die, I think. Does that happen?
No.
Or is this the book?
That's
in
the book.
No.
He poisons Percy and leaves him to die and hops through a portal.
No, here they have a brief
they have a sword fight that's actually not that bad. It's decent. Which Percy kind of wins, but then after he cut Luke, he's like, oh shit, sorry, man. And then Luke's like, haha, and then knocks Percy down.
Yeah, he's like, but don't worry, we're still friends, and you can come join me anytime.
Yeah, and then Annabeth like attacks him while invisible, and then he just runs away through this portal that he opened because he's trying to free Kronos.
Yeah, he looks pretty sad though when he does it.
Yeah. And then that pretty much wraps up, and then we're at the point now that camp is ending. I guess Annabeth is going to Disney World. Grover became a
seeker,
a licensed guy.
He got his license to search.
Percy's gonna go see if his mom is alive.
Which I think she's supposed to be by now.
Yeah,
I didn't understand the ending because then he goes to meet his mom and see if she's there. She's not there, but then she is there, and then he wakes up from a dream. And
from what I understand, his mom was there, but then it like fast forwards, and he also has dreams about that time that he went and his mom was there, and it ends up like,
that's what
you know what I mean.
Oh, see, that went way over my head. I didn't think that at all. I was like, did I just witness an entire dream?
Yeah,
that
either way. Then the show ends, and you're like, what the hell? It's over? That like nothing happened. Like we didn't finish.
Yeah, one thing that was kind of annoying was they underplayed Gabe, like I said earlier. In the books,
and then they turned him into stone.
Yeah, they had him called Smelly Gabe, and the reason he smelt was to hide Percy's like demigod smell.
Oh, I knew
which
that
showed
from the
how
movie.
how much his mom like was willing to sacrifice for him. And then at the end of the first book, it was revealed that Gabe actually hit Percy's mom. So it like pissed Percy off, but he was like, I'm gonna leave it up to my mom, because when he got home from summer camp, the package with Medusa's head from Olympus was on his bed. So
yeah, that doesn't happen.
He told his mom, do you want Gabe gone?
Oh, it does?
So he ultimately left it up to her to deal with Gabe.
Yeah, in the show, his mom and him are living at the beach house, I think, and then then it goes like to an after credit scene of Gabe. He's on the phone with like a divorce lawyer. He's like, yeah, my wife divorced me. This is bullshit. I'm locked out of the apartment or whatever. They won't answer my calls. They've completely abandoned me.
Oh, I didn't watch the post credits.
And then he's like at the door but can't get in, and there's a box there, and he's like, from the gods, this is bullshit. And then he opens it and turns to stone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think the books did a cooler job. It was more impactful that way.
Because he didn't seem like, I mean, he was an asshole, but he didn't seem like he deserved to turn into stone in the show.
Yeah. The movie or the books, definitely, I'd say.
But then the one thing that was not explained in the show, tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm sure it's different in the books. I don't care. I'm talking about the show. They were literally FBI wanted criminals, and that never got resolved.
Yeah, they were wanted by the police at one point.
Yeah, they were on the news. It was like, these kids are terrorists that blew up a monument. That is never resolved in the show.
Yeah, you're right.
So are they still terrorists? What the hell?
No. So when his mom was alive, when they found out, when Percy got his mom back, they said that he got kidnapped, and it was actually the kidnappers that were committing the crimes. And Percy,
okay, so I guess they'll probably just have a brief mention of that in season 2 or something.
Yeah,
and then Percy went on the news, was like, since Gabe something, he ended up like saying that like for every person that helped, you get a free appliance from Gabe's like appliance store, and it like bankrupted the dude, and then he got turned to stone.
Not like it matters. He's already a fucking statue.
Yeah. All right, let's do our final ranking or scores. Who wants to go first?
4.
I was gonna say 6.
I was gonna give it a 5. Thought it was super average.
All right.
But yeah, that's it.
What sucks is I can see the potential, but
There was for sure
didn't like
potential,
it.
yeah. It's just, I feel like they were limited in their budget, so they couldn't do what the big stuff that they wanted to do. And then there was just like so many things that went unexplained or like that were glossed over that could have like, they should have leaned more into certain themes that they didn't.
yeah, that's my main things are I feel like it went too fast, and I feel like a lot of things are just like they expect you to be like just because don't even worry about it.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's because I don't know, maybe they just thinking about the book people. That's probably why Bert's is slightly better, because he could put some of those pieces together that we couldn't.
Yeah,
Well, he's also confused. He doesn't even know what's the book or what's the
Yeah,
what's
I was
the
gonna
show.
say, because the problem is that any of the gaps that the show had, my brain just automatically kind of pieced over.
That's kind of cool that's possible. But not for me.
Like,
So
like the little details and stuff that like don't like, get explained ever. I just kind of knew.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if we should
thanks for
do.
listening.
Yeah, I don't know if we should do the Helldivers thing now. Maybe we should just make an episode out of that sometime.
We can talk about that for an hour, easy.
yeah, we'll save Helldivers for next time. For now, just know it's sick most of the time.
Yeah, when it works, it's
When it
pretty
works.
epic.
I personally haven't had problems, but those two had.
You
has had
have.
problem. No, I haven't. I crashed
We
once.
couldn't purchase things for like a whole day.
Oh yeah, but that got fixed.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, but it still happened.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
buggy, but it's fun when it works. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Anyways, thanks for listening. See ya.
Yep. See you guys
Keep it
next
salty,
time.
guys.